like to welcome you all on our 367th journey in 20 months only. Now we are reaching towards 400 episode. Today is very unique day, Press Freedom Day. Press Freedom Day is actually for press, but with press, for press, I have taken this freedom to communicate our sentiment to them for promotion of our health awareness, wellness, serious disorders by their media and guide us how we can motivate others, how we can proceed for promotion of our platform, not our platform. This is not our platform. This is all of us are the contributors of this platform. Though we have conducted approximately 100 video and 367 webinars, all are available on Ayush Samriddhi YouTube, the link of which will be shared immediately after starting the program. Kindly share it, kindly communicate it, because we started our journey to negate the negativity of Corona, COVID pandemic, right from 25th of March when Modi ji announced lockdown. So we created YouTube channel, we started video capturing and uploading, and then we started the series of webinar Ayush Samriddhi. Initially, we focused on diseases, lifestyle disorders and COVID-19. What is the role of Ayush in COVID-19? And then we decided unanimously to celebrate every day with Ayush, because Ayush is not meant for only one day. That is involved in our religion, involved in our lifestyle, involved in our kitchen. Everywhere Ayush is there. We can't ignore that. We can't avoid that. So we had to adopt that, and we have to accept and regard that. That really India has not suffered very much in comparison to all foreign countries who are away from the spices, away from natural lifestyle. So Corona has really harmed those persons who were away from the nature. And fortunately, we Indians in all regions, we are very close to close to nature and close to our medicines in the form of spices, nutrients, and dry fruits, whatever it may be, in comparison to other countries. I would like to request media persons, please guide us how to promote this platform. This is non-commercial platform, not promoted by any company. We are all volunteers here. Our guardian, Vishnu Prasad Sharma ji, ex-principal, Government Ayurvedic College, Guwahati, and President Vishwa Ayurved Parishad, Assam. Professor Madan Thangvelu sir, Senior Genome Biologist, Cambridge University, UK. Respected B.K. Agnihotri sir, ex-professor, Uttarakhand Ayurved University, Haridwar. That was a confusion, better it should be Haridwar or Haridwar. Sir, I would like to communicate one thing. Really, I would like to thank Dr. Mr. Nishant that he has communicated that above 75 years of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nothing can be posted. So thank you, Nishant ji. Thank you very much. We have adopted it and we will follow whenever and up to which limit we will use, but definitely it will be above the all. Really, thank you. We didn't know it. We have repeated this mistake for more than 100 plus webinars in N2. Our aim was not wrong, but not due to non-awareness. Thank you. We have also learned the new lesson for this. Thank you. So now I would like to welcome Vishnu Prasad Sharma ji to welcome our all the speaker and audience. Thank you, Jagdishwarji, for joining. Thank you. Adharani Vishnu Prasad Sharma.
Namaskar. Good evening to everybody. Respected Professor Bhangapali, respected Professor Victor Bhutriji, respected Anupam Kumar Sharma, eminent
Your voice is not coming. I hope connection is not.
It is an important subject. And in this webinar, our eminent speakers are Dr. Radhika, Nagrath, Mr. Anupam Mishra, Mr. Lokenath Tiwary, Mr. Nishant Verma. I
Are you zooming?
eminent speaker,
Your name zooming?
ladies and gentlemen.
Connection is disturbed. I hope connection is disturbed. So we will listen Vishnu Prasad Sharma ji in next time, definitely, when his bandwidth is okay. Again, I would like to welcome all the speakers, Radhika ji, Nishant ji, Lokenath ji, and our Anupam ji. Thank you for joining. One my humble suggestion is this: we will not have any copyright. We are ready to share our video clips to all media. Please use it. Please use it as video articles and communicate our expertise to all.
Definitely.
Madan sir, thank you.
Thank you, Pavanji. Namaskar. Thank you for this, for bringing once again to the 367th webinar such a galaxy of stalwarts from the world of journalism and the press. The press has a big responsibility at a time like this when many things are happening in the world. I mean, it's always, many things always happen in the world. But we have come, it seems like we have come to an inflection point where we reached a very important point in many narratives in the world. The world has never been connected like it has been connected, and it's being connected today. And this will only get even more intense as we go through. There are non-linear effects when these kind of connections happen. For instance, look at this platform. I'm seated here today in Cambridge in the United Kingdom. Pavanji is located in Calcutta. Agnihotriji is joining us from Uttarakhand. And all of you are coming together from different parts of India. And perhaps there are people viewing our program on YouTube. They could be anywhere in the world. And this is the nature of the world to come. And we are hoping that out of these interactions, a new revolution will come out. You know, people are calling it the fifth industrial revolution, but I think the revolution that's going to come ahead is much, much more than just an industrial revolution. At the heart of this will be human health. As Pavanji said, human health is an everyday thing. It's not just for today, or it's not just something that can be solved with formulations, medicines, etc. To set the scene for where at least my mind is, I just want to share a few slides. Pavanji, if I may share a few slides. And
you are the boss, sir.
Thank you, Pavanji. With these few slides, I just want to share what is going through my mind, not only in the context of what we are discussing today, but also many things in in general. A few days ago, I was with young students and several others who had joined us on this event running out of Coimbatore from the Ayurveda College in Coimbatore. And this is the topic of my discussion. We had together with us our Ayush professor, currently now in Mauritius. And we had a discussion with the people who had gathered. Several people from many, many parts of the world had gathered. One point I want to emphasize is this: one earth, one health world order. This, and then the subtitle of the whole discussion was on opportunities and challenges for the globalization of Ayurveda and other Ayush systems. Now, that title was inspired by several things, but I had earlier presented this at the Canada-India Foundation in a discussion. And I'd used that phrase, one earth, one health, and the one world order. And I'd highlighted that health is a prisoner, health as we call it, is a prisoner and a hostage of health care. And a lot of people found this confusing. And I then qualified by saying that health is different from healthcare. And I think Pavanji's comment is related to that. And I'd also said in that presentation that the study of the human body in health and disease and how we teach this at all the levels, from primary school to secondary school to wherever we go on further on in life, medical schools, engineering colleges, etc., needs a major shift in perspective. And that shift in perspective is pointing towards health versus healthcare. We seem to have forgotten what health is, and we have taken for granted that you can do whatever you want and healthcare will solve your problems. It doesn't quite work that way. And some of these points were related by our Prime Minister, Honorable Modi ji, earlier at the World Economic Forum in Davos. And there he was saying, not only exporting essential medicines and vaccines to the world that India was doing very effectively, but several other points that have since come up at the opening of this new center in Jamnagar. 2 future-ready Ayurveda institutions were earlier announced on 5th Ayurveda Day in November 13, 2020. And you can see many of the points that are listed here. Calls for Ayurveda syllabus that meets international standards. Ayurveda is just not an alternative, but a key basis for India's health. And how Corona has pushed us to thinking these ways. Like Pavanji said, there was some negativity early on, and this whole platform was set up to look at that. The announcement here was related to 2 institutes, the institutes related to Jamnagar and Jaipur, the National Institute of Ayurveda. The NIA Jaipur is now a full-fledged university, and the Institute of Teaching and Research in Ayurveda in Jamnagar will be the home for a global center for traditional medicine. Now, in terms of reporting, there has been so much in the press. And I want to present this one example as an example of what I found very balanced and very interesting reporting that I've been sharing this message from Rutam Vora. Perhaps all of you among the journalist team will know who Rutam is. His Twitter page and link is up on the top left. And it talks about unlocking secrets of traditional cures. There are just 5 words in the title, but it conveys such a deep message. And the example the point I'm trying to make here is with very few words, you can really grab the attention of a large number of people. You have access to huge networks, and you have access to many minds. And this is how one might want to present what I would call effective reporting. So if I look at the 3rd, 4th, and the 5th column on the top here, it says traditional medicines in WHO regions. And implied in this are the 6 regions of the World Health Organization, and how India and the different medical practices that are going on and how they're going to specialize. And without pointing, and without using too many words, Rutamji has given us the essence of how India's the newly established Center for Traditional Medicine will be coordinating activities from different WHO regions, the 6 regions, the WHO. And I want to highlight this one section here, again in the 3rd column, this paragraph here about Ashish Kumar, Chief Executive Officer for William Schwaber, India, a leading firm in homeopathy medicines. Now, we have in our platform, we have discussed homeopathy. It is a very controversial area. There are many people who try and keep away from it, but we have in the Ministry of Ayush, one of the centers also for CCRH, Central Council for Research in Homeopathy. And the wording here, how balanced, Rutam's wording here is so balanced. And it gives an opportunity to open up such points for discussion and debate. I hope that this kind of freedom that the press has will be exercised in a way that makes the reader curious, that makes the reader want to learn more about what are the WHO centers in this instance. How is Jamnagar going to work on this? Why did this center come to Jamnagar? What is the historic connection? So there are many, many layers and layers of information that can be conveyed, and conveyed very powerfully, not only for a national audience, but for an international audience. And so we are very delighted that all of you have joined us today on this special day, our 367th webinar. Welcome all to the platform. And we look forward to hearing from you about how we can take this, the whole idea of Ayush systems, the whole idea of the opportunity that this inflection point is offering us, and how we might want to position ourselves nationally, globally, to present a very strong message about the benefits. I'm not saying you want to be biased about your reporting by overinflating what may be the benefits not proven or whatever that is, but put a balanced spin on reporting. So with those few words, welcome all joining us from different parts of the country, the panelists. Welcome all viewing our program in different media across the world, wherever they are, or following us later on in the program. We welcome you all to the 367th webinar. Pavanji, thank you once again to Pavanji and the team who are working behind the scene to always bring exciting panelists to the platform. As Pavanji said, all our recordings, all our webinars, seminars, conferences, as we call them, are recorded and preserved in our archives for anybody to visit. There's a lot of content, many, many hours of content that's there. And as Pavanji says, feel free to refer, ask questions, come back to us for information, and elaborate on whatever you find exciting. You will look through the programs, you will see we have touched on so many aspects, mainstream and fringe aspects. We've touched on aspects on Pashu Ayurveda, that's very central aspect of the One Earth, One Health agenda. We've touched on aspects of Siddha medicine, we have touched on aspects of homeopathy, Unani, and we've touched on what some people will call the fringe areas, astrology. But for us, these are very important things because it is founded on the fundamental principles that have given rise to these Ayush systems. We've talked about music, we've talked about food, and these are all the connected themes within the Ayush systems. So with those few words, I pass the floor back to Pavanji. Pavanji, all yours. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So I would like to request Dr. Radhika Nagrath ji. She is senior journalist and author, Times Plus, manager MIS, Divya Pharmacy, Haridwar. There was a confusion whether it is Haridwar or Haridwar.
So both are right. Shaivs follow as Haridwar and Vaishnavas says as Haridwar. So government says both are right. Haridwar
I
as
am
well as
chef,
Hardwar.
that's why
So
I adopted it. Thank you. Thank you for
it's your wish.
welcome, madam.
Radhika ji, pranam. Thank you for joining us today. Namaskar
Thank
ji.
you, sir. Thank you.
You have touched a controversial area of, at the very beginning, you touched on one of the most
Har and
controversial
Hari.
areas, the Shaivite, Vaishnavite divide that continues to cause a lot of tension in many parts of the world, many parts of India in particular.
Yes.
Thank you, Ji.
So
Thank
without
you for-
controversies, media doesn't exist only. So let it go on. Anyway.
The war in between Hari and Hara.
मनोभूत्यहङ्कार चेतानिनाहं न च श्रोत्रजीवे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च व्योमभुवि न तेजो न वायु चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्. On this day of Akshay Tritiya and National Press Freedom Day. Am I audible to all? I extend my wishes to all the panelists and the organizers, Dr. Pawan Kumar Sharma, Dr. V.K. Agnihotri, Professor Madan, and other team members. Akshay, yes, what you have started, knowledge sharing through this platform, I wish and hope this will be Akshay. इसका क्षय नहीं होगा, ये बढ़ता ही जाएगा. आज के दिन की ये खास importance है. और Professor Madan has set the ball rolling, saying Ayush is no more alternative medicine. It has been widely propagated now as the mainstream pathy. Sir, I do agree. To some extent, yes, over a period of time, with the development of separate mantralaya, Ayush, Pura, Ayurveda, Yoga, Siddh, Unani, इससे फर्क तो पड़ा है propagation में, पर अभी भी till now we are still not able to give this system of medicine the first position. अभी भी कहीं ना कहीं एलोपैथी काउंट कर रहा है as primary pathies. So a lot needs to be done. There comes the role of media. हमें किस तरह इसको और propagate करना है, that we have to see. I will be discussing few points which Ayush department has taken over as propagation with certain schemes, central schemes. Apart from that, what more can be done, giving specific case study of Baba Ramdev, because I belong to Patanjali group also. कैसे रामदेव जी मीडिया के थ्रू ओवरनाइट हीरो बने हैं, कैसे आस्था चैनल ने उन्हें प्रोपेगेट किया है, वो हम भी जानते हैं. Everyone knows about it. The role of media in propagation of such things cannot be denied. और मैं केस स्टडी स्पेसिफिक लेके उसको कोट करूंगी, which even ministry can take as an example to propagate their schemes. अगर आंकड़ों की बात करें, if I go by the statistics, people across the India, they are following Indian medical system of Ayush. 17 crore 73 lakh patients. Quite a big number. Yes, I do agree. जैसे अभी डॉक्टर पवन ने स्टार्टिंग में कहा था, हमारी किचन में है, हमारे आसपास है, हर तरफ आयुष है, क्योंकि हम हिंदुस्तानी हैं, हम वो मसाले, वो सब चीजें अपनी डाइट में यूज करते हैं, और इसीलिए बहुत से लोग इसको इलनेस ट्रीटमेंट के लिए भी ले रहे हैं. 17 करोड़ पीपल, इट्स अ बिग नंबर. पर अभी भी अगर कुछ भी अर्जेंसी आती है तो हम एलोपैथिक डॉक्टर के पास भागते हैं, और एलोपैथिक डॉक्टर आज भी हेडेक के लिए नहीं कतराता है वो मेडिसिन लिखने के लिए एलोपैथिक. ऐसा क्यों? दिस नीड्स टू बी चेक्ड. अगर मुझे ही विश्वास नहीं होगा अपनी पैथी पे, तो मैं आगे क्या प्रोपेगेट करूंगी? तो इसमें सोशल मीडिया का बहुत बड़ा रोल हो सकता है. इसको एविडेंस बेस्ड मेडिसिन करार करने में. और कोविड के टाइम में हमने देखा, एक बीइंग अ जर्नलिस्ट मेरे सामने एक दो इंस्टेंसेस आए. जैसे ही ये कोविड की बात आई तो पतंजलि ने भी लॉन्च किया था कोरोनिल, तो वो भी सब हर्ब्स बेस्ड था. आयुष मंत्रालय ने भी स्टेट के थ्रू बहुत सारे काढ़ा कंकॉक्शंस वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किए गए. अग्निहोत्री सर मस्ट बी अवेयर ऑफ इट. हम सबको घर में भी पहुंचे थे, ये सब बांटे गए थे. लेकिन फिर भी वैक्सीन की जरूरत क्रिएट की गई. तो मैं किसी के अगेंस्ट नहीं हूं. दिस इज माय पर्सनल ओपिनियन. एंड many researchers have also said that it's not compulsory कि आप वैक्सीन से ही इम्यूनिटी ला सकते हैं. आप ओरल चीजों से भी ला सकते हैं. बहुत से ऐसे हमारी हर्ब्स हैं, बहुत से कंकॉक्शंस हैं. तो unless and until at the center level this is propagated in a proper manner, people are not going to take it. Still एलोपैथी आगे ही रहेगा. आयुष को एज ए प्राइमरी पैथी होने के लिए आयुर्वेद को, योग को अभी थोड़ा सा समय लगेगा, जिसके लिए हमें ग्राउंड लेवल पे बहुत काम करना जरूरी है. एंड मीडिया कैन प्ले डेफिनेटली अ मेजर रोल इन दैट. Ministry of Ayush has regularly, they observe certain days dedicated like yoga day. This is a good practice, Ayurveda day. This is one way of propagating it. और जो भी जब इवेंट किया जाता है तो डेफिनेटली मीडिया उसको कवर करता ही है. बट अभी भी एक क्वेश्चन हमेशा आ जाता है कि कैन दीज थिंग्स क्योर द इलनेस? क्योर वर्ड पे अभी भी प्रॉब्लम है सभी को. I remember long back, I had presented one paper in California, University of California, और उसके बेस पे मैंने New Era magazine, which is published from Qatar, I had sent one article in which it was that yoga can cure illness. Now my editor had this problem in the headline only, said no, I'll put a question mark. Can yoga cure illness? I do agree that was long back. After that, lot has been done. लेकिन अभी भी question mark रहता है. We cannot use the word cure. We can just say we can manage the disease through Ayush system. So somehow I feel through media, when we say it is freedom of press, why can't I say that yes, such and such person has been cured? We have seen such and such battery of people were cured in this area. So why can't this be taken as a proper, as a primary medicine? उसके लिए ये टिकटॉक और ये जितने सोशल मीडिया के टूल्स हैं, why can't we use them? We can, if the will is there to promote this. But वो high level की problems होती हैं, WHO की और के pressures होते हैं, which I know personally at center and state level, which can't be cured. But going to the positive move which can be taken, awareness campaigns definitely can help propagate Ayush system of medicine. Innovations like telemedicine, like allopathic doctors are doing, same way. Ayush department has also done this, and they have developed certain research centers like Central Council for Research in Homeopathy. They have 21 research centers in different states. But is it known to everyone around? No. सच पूछो, अगर मैंने आज ये लेक्चर के लिए थोड़ा सा स्टडी ना करना होता, even I didn't know that homeopathy has so many research centers. A common man doesn't know. So there comes the role of media. We people, हम क्यों नहीं हमारे न्यूज़पेपर एक कॉलम चला देते हैं? I remember it was in the year 2017. I was with Hindustan Times and we started one column, Home Pharmacy. So with natural remedies, we were explaining how a certain disease can be cured. और वो होम फार्मेसी में वो कभी एलोवेरा और इन सब चीजों का हम लिखते थे. तो वो एक साल के बाद में मेरे एडिटर ने भी बोला कि नहीं, नाउ नो मोर. इसका अब और रिस्पॉन्स नहीं आ रहा है. शुरू में जब भी कोई नई चीज आती है क्रेज होता है, बट आफ्टर दैट इट सबसाइड्स डाउन. सो I request all the editors who are in the command line. मैं तो एक reporter हूँ, but the editors who are in the command line, they can do a lot in propagating such Ayush systems, whether it's yoga, whether it's, thank God we have now International Yoga Day on 21st of June. At least around the world, people celebrate one day. As Professor Madan said, one nation, one health system, and one medicine, one world. So at least through yoga, Prime Minister Modi ji has united all. But still, there is a long way to go. It needs to be done at the ground level, and we media people can do it. Sir, how much time is left? I missed the watch. Can I speak for 2-3 minutes more?
Radhika ji, please continue. If
Okay.
we want, you have raised one or two controversial points. We'll come to that in the question discussion. But please continue. Please share. We are curious to see your line of argument.
Yeah. Then we have Ayush Export Promotion Councils, AEPC, to promote export of Ayush products, medicines, and services. And one good move taken up by the government is that medical tourism is being encouraged now. So people from other countries come here for treatments, like for massages, for all these in Indian system of medicine. And this is one good point, but still, for sending medicines to countries like US FDA has stringent norms, and I know many firms are sending medicines and food supplements so that they pass on all those tests, all those stringent parameters. तो अगर बाहर भी ऐसा होगा तो इसको ज्यादा अगर थोड़ी leverage मिलेगी in the stringent parameters what the councils have laid down for exporting of our Indian medicines, which have more of heavy metals. So it can be encouraged. But yes, it's a policy level decision. We are nobody to say or comment on that, just a suggestion. Then government has formed a champion services sector scheme for medical value travel. This is a good one. National Medical and Wellness Tourism Board has been formed. पर वही बात है कि it has not, the information, the awareness has not reached to the common man, for which now all the print media and electronic media must focus, make it as a priority. And if the government says, makes it a policy, then definitely everyone is bound to follow. डंडे से काम जरूर होता है हमारे देश में जल्दी, rather than free will. Arogya fair in Delhi and state capitals. Yes, it is being done. It is another method of promotion of Ayush. Pharmexil and Chemexil, along with these reputed organizations, but again, it is limited to a very few organizations. वो heads को information जाती है, but the people down the line don't get it. So we have to use Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, all these platforms, knowledge platforms, especially Stack Overflow, Quora, Yahoo Answers, for propagation of senior experts in the Ayush field. They can take up questions with the public on Quora and Yahoo Answers. That is one way. Then media sharing platforms like YouTube, Spotify, Vimeo, TikTok. TikTok is very much common these days, so that can be used. Then service-oriented platforms like Uber, Airbnb, they can also play a major role by giving offers to the people who want to come for treatment through this Indian system of medicine. Why I'm specifically mentioning this social media? Because speed of content delivery is fast, highly customizable, you don't have to spend much, reachable to common masses, and through television advertisements also, for which the budget, if it is affordable. Then email marketing and SMS services. Why not from the Ayush department? सब डिपार्टमेंट से होता है, तो वहां से भी किया जाना चाहिए. I'll just take one case study. October 2016, just 5 years ago, Hindustan Times reported too much of Ramdev on TV. Patanjali in an ad drive. Do you get the feeling that you are seeing more and more of Yoga Guru Baba Ramdev these days while surfing TV channels and even social media? Little wonder. Ramdev's brand Patanjali has increased its on-air advertisement many-fold and become the third biggest advertiser in India. So Ramdev, जो खुद अपने product के brand ambassador है, he also needed the media. After every 10 seconds on Astha channel, there was one ad, Dant Kanti. Their toothpaste is still now number one in sales in India. So we cannot ignore the importance of advertisement. कुछ budget तो लगाना ही होगा for the promotion of Ayush. If that could be at the state level, that could be at the central level. And otherwise, it's not so easy to reach the masses. और ये start कैसे हुआ था? 2000 में we very well know that some devotional channel had started. So in India, what I have found, if you want to hit a person, you can use the religious channels for advertisement. Most of the people, most of the household ladies, they watch these channels. So if information is broadcasted through these channels, devotional channels also, about wellness, about benefits of yoga, benefits of Ayurveda. Of late, a few channels have started, but still it's a very countable number. So that can be a major booster for this industry. Then lastly, blogs, writing blogs, people like Dr. Madan who are good at technical and language part. So when you write something about such system of medicine and the benefits, definitely people are going to take it. And we can always use digital media like AR, 3D, three-dimensional podcast stories, which can help customers connect with the better consumer base. So for fast reachable, and one benefit of using digital media for propagation is that you instantly know the feedback, how many likes, how many views. For other systems, whatever you use for propagation, you still have to take the feedback. पर यहाँ पे आपको बहुत जल्दी अपना पता चल जाता है आप कितने successful हुए हैं. So overall, I have tried to cover a few things which can really help Ayush system of medicine propagation. And I apologize if I used offensive word against any particular organization or system of medicine, not with willingly, not with malintention towards anyone. But yes, when we were reporting and we came across such things, so it made me boil, so I vented out. But still, I apologize. And I
Radhika
hope...
Thank you. Thank you, Radhika ji. Thank you so much for being here with us today, number one. Number two, thank you for being very frank and candid about your analysis. ये तो बहुत बड़ी चीज है हमारे लिए कि आपने खुला खुला जो कुछ कहना था आपने कहनी थी जो you have shared it with us. So this is very important. Now that is the frankness. I just to set the mood for our other. It's a big area for discussion, you know, journalism, and within that, journalism itself is a big space, and we know how journalism shapes moods and minds where they and the reach they have, and what you correctly said, reaching the masses, and the point you touched about social media, it's very, very important, you know, how the social media story is a very important story. You can see what is happening recently with the discussions about Twitter ke upar jo Elon Musk ki, why has he bought Twitter, you know, and there is a lot of, and this is a very subtle area. उसके अंदर स्पेशलाइजेशन है आपकी जो जर्नलिज्म, व्हेन यू से जर्नलिज्म, उसके अंदर भी स्पेशलाइजेशन है. नाउ उसके अंदर हम डाल रहे आयुर्वेद, ठीक है ना जी, उसकी इतनी बड़ा कैनवस के अंदर आपकी स्पेशलाइजेशन है, उसके अंदर वी आर ट्राइंग टू प्रेजेंट आयुर्वेद. एंड आई गेव यू दैट वन एग्जांपल ऑफ that I touched on, the example of Rutum Vora's story. And I was pointing to reportings where we are saying responsible reporting, you know, responsible reporting. Now, what is coming through is, let us say we take even one small area within Ayurveda or Yoga or homeopathy or Siddha or Unani, koi bhi lo, even that subdiscipline in the Ayush system is itself very deep. Ek cheez, we discussed Jwara Chikitsa, Jwara. And we discussed this in the context of COVID and in the context of other matters. Just Jwara Adhyaya in Charaka Samhita. So I'm using all the terms that is maybe known to the Ayurveda community, but would be alien to other people. Jwara Chikitsa, we had one program on Vishama Jwara. Now we are getting technical and more technical. It is almost like quantum physics now. Okay, because if you don't understand what is Jwara, then you've lost the story. Now, within Jwara, if you don't understand what is Vishama Jwara, you're completely confused. Within Vishama Jwara, you're talking about Dhatu Lakshana of Jwara. And within that, we are giving different treatments. Now, this is the level of specialization that we have on one side, which is a very small aspect of the big canvas of responsible reporting regarding Ayush. Even if, now I'm going to be very frank here, even if I go to the Central Council for Research in Ayurveda Sciences, which is a big entire institution for the Ministry of Ayush. And if today I went to the ministry, to the CCRAS, and I caught the senior people and the junior people, and I sat them together, and I asked them to give me a 10-minute discussion on Veshamajwara, they will fail miserably. Now,
True.
yes, if I just surprise them by saying, we are today here gathered, and let us talk about Veshamajwara, nobody in that CCRAS will be able to talk coherently for 10 minutes. I can guarantee you that, because that is the depth to which we have to understand this knowledge. Now, the conflict we have here, which you touched on very nicely when we started off saying, when somebody has jwara, we call it fever. The first thing they go is go to the Western medicine doctor. Where have we failed? Your point is very correct. The reason may be that the small concept of jwara in itself is so sophisticated, so deep in its knowledge, that we don't know how to convey that.
Yes.
And so this
Right.
is, I think Agnihotriji will come to this when he comes to review these documents. Domaji is listening to us, senior Vaidyas. They will come with perspectives on what is important for the village. So I will leave it there. But before
sir.
I give the floor back to Pavanji, I just want to make one point. Yahan pe, Radhika ji, yahan pe Europe mein, Brussels mein, they run the world's largest research funding activity, and they call it the framework programs.
Okay.
6 saal, just like we have our 5-year plans, they run a 6-year framework program, and it's the world's largest research funding. So on one hand, in Hindustan, we have our ancient systems of knowledge going to thousands of years. The most recent textbook, Charaka Samhita, the most recent redaction is already 2,500 years old, and there were versions before that. Patanjali will know about all these things. The point here is the people sitting at 6,000, 10,000 miles away in Brussels have no idea about all these things. So on top of it, so one is ignorance in our own system, ignorance in our own country.
So awareness needs to be created. Yes, yes.
So to compound that ignorance, we have unsavory reporting, which means reporting that rejects, instead of some positive aspects, by discussion with senior people. We have many senior people in the country. We have big universities. We have Ayush universities, Kurukshetra in Uttarakhand. We have Ayush universities. We have medical universities. Why don't we find a way to have a program of work together with the Ministry of Ayush, together with the Ministry of
it should be there. It should be there.
Together with Panchayat Raj, and then bring you journalists into the game, and together with the institute like what we are, this platform, it is a skill that needs to be developed.
Agreed, sir. 100%.
And I think we look forward to people like Patanjali. Hardwar is a very important, Devbhumi is very important for not only for India, but for the whole world. Devbhumi is important. So let us look at it in a very constructive way. But be frank.
Professor Madan, sir.
Anji, please.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just want to remind one very vital point, which Madam Radhika is knowing very well, since we have got a very vital relations with her. Madam Radhika, you might be remembering the contribution of Dr. From All India Institute of Ayurveda, Kajaria, Madam Kajaria. She did a wonderful work over the liver disorder with a very close member of our family.
And I had published that report. Yes.
Madam Radhika projected her contribution in such a way it came on the Times. The idea is this: that lady is doing without seeing back. How a researcher be able or may spare minutes to go for the media or for publication, for documentation, for evidence showing. This is one thing. If you realize that this is a proper work, it did a lot. So goes the case during the corona. None of the patient died in AIIA suffering from corona for COVID positive. So goes the case with the homeopathic medicine. Our archives record is there. 93 prisoners were given the arsenic 30 preventively, and also those who were suffering from corona. None of declared dead, and they all got it off. As you told that we are rushing for the vaccine, or vaccine is still became vital, no doubt. Right from Sonprasan, right from the intrauterine life, we also proceed, but it takes time. So we have got our measures using Tulsi, Kashwanda, and so on and so forth for developing the immunity in a built-in form, and after the birth as an acquired one. It depends that which of the pathy we are following. We are not having the projection, and we do hope that our government institutes are not in position to project all these things to the media in a proper way because of lack of the budget. If we say something to the media through television or anything, it will be accepted, and it is needing the great fun and use of celebrities. If Shilpa Shetty says, if Amitabh Bachchan says, it becomes a 22,000 times perfect, irrespective of the research based. So that depends. That's why we are with Fordal Health helping you, asking for your help. You please project IRES. It is nowhere alternative. It is one. It is 5,000 back, and other system of medicine developed afterwards. So it may not be designed as an alternative medicine. Thank you. Thank you so much.
सर, एम्स ऋषिकेश ने आयुष डिपार्टमेंट खोला, लेकिन किसी को पता नहीं चला. बाय चांस आई विजिटेड एंड केम टू नो. सो
मोर्चरी के पास मैडम मीनाक्षी है, मोर्चरी के पास पीछे धकेल दिया गया. अगर वो फ्रंट रो में हो तो क्यों नहीं हो. मैं वहां पर गेस्ट लेक्चर देने गया था ऑन आयुर्वेदा डे, और वहां के जो ऑन्कोलॉजी के प्रोफेसर श्रीवास्तव थे, सब लोग फ्रंट रो के बैठे थे, और उन्होंने जाना कि इट इज द लाइफ स्टाइल, इट इज द डेलीरिज्म व्हिच कैन हेल्प, व्हिच कैन प्रिवेंट द मेडिसिंस, व्हिच कैन प्रिवेंट द डिजीजेस. वो जो हमको कॉर्नर में डाल देंगे आप, तो नेचुरल सी बात है, कौन हमको पूछेगा. आई हैव आल्सो विजिटेड दैट प्लेस. बट एनीवे, anyway, if your support and the support of media will come, we will be appreciated, though we are doing without any tiredness, we are doing.
Definitely. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Agnihotri. It's a big, Radhika ji, it is a big space. And the way in which we should approach that space hasn't been formulated yet. So we thank Pavanji for bringing all of us on this platform and raising this discussion. Pavanji, we will come back to these points as we go into our discussions. Pavanji, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Very nice discussion was going on. Very important, sir. Now I would like to request, first welcome and then request to Mr. Anupam Mishra ji. Anupam Mishra ji is Deputy Editor, India Today Group, ex-Bureau Chief, India TV, Kolkata. I welcome, sir. Welcome, Anupam.
नमस्कार, आप सभी को मेरा नमस्कार. दरअसल पवन जी ने जब सबसे पहले मुझे फोन किया कुछ दिनों पहले और कहा कि इस विषय पर बोलना है आयुर्वेद और मीडिया के बारे में, तो सबसे पहली बात तो मेरे दिमाग में है कि आयुर्वेद से मेरा क्या लेना देना, मैं क्या बोलूं. फिर दूसरे ही क्षण बहुत सारी बातें भी आने लगी. मेरी बातें सुनाई दे रही हैं शायद?
बिल्कुल जी.
Am I audible?
बिल्कुल जी.
बिल्कुल सर.
तो दूसरे ही पल बहुत सारी बातें भी आने लगी, और अचानक से याद आया कि बचपन में जब हम खेलते थे, काफी छोटे थे, तो बहुत बड़ा मोहल्ला था, और उस वक्त में अगर थोड़ी सी भी खरोंच या चोट लग जाती थी तो हम लोग कोई एलोपैथी नहीं लेते थे. गेंदे का जो पत्ता होता है उसको पीस कर लगा लेते थे. अब मुझे नहीं पता उसमें क्या प्रॉपर्टीज थी क्या नहीं थी, लेकिन वो खून रुक जाता था और कोई एलोपैथी की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती थी. और ये हम लोग दूसरे मोहल्लों में जाते थे फुटबॉल खेलने या क्रिकेट खेलने, तो उस वक्त सभी लोग इसका इस्तेमाल करते थे. फिर धीरे धीरे हल्दी, चूना, ये सब जो है, ये सब तो हमारी जो पुरानी पारंपरिक आयुष पद्धतियां हैं उनसे जुड़ी हुई हैं. तो इसका लेना देना तो हजारों सालों से है. सांख्य दर्शन जो कपिल मुनि जिसके प्रवर्तक थे, उसके बाद से ही इसका आविर्भाव होना शुरू हुआ, और चरक संहिता या सुश्रुत कहिए, जो भी कहिए, तो ये एक समय तो हमारे जीवन का अभिन्न अंग था, लेकिन धीरे धीरे लुप्त होते होते ऐसा भी समय आया जब काफी लुप्त हो गया था, लेकिन फिर से इसका उदय होना शुरू हुआ. और खास तौर पर अभी कुछ सालों में तो मुझे लगता है कि काफी आयुर्वेद लोगों के जीवन में जो आयुर्वेद की पद्धतियां हैं, जो आयुष की पद्धतियां हैं, वो काफी कारगर साबित हो रही हैं। खासतौर पर कोरोना के समय में हमने देखा कि कोविड के समय में जो काढ़ा वगैरह का इस्तेमाल किया गया, खासतौर पर सोशल मीडिया के इस्तेमाल से जो लोगों तक पहुंचा, वो काफी अहम साबित हुआ लोगों के जीवन में। तो अब जहां तक बात है पत्रकारिता और आयुर्वेद की, आज किस तरह से इसका प्रमोशन किया जाए, तो मुझे लगता है कि मेन स्ट्रीम मीडिया में या मेन स्ट्रीम मीडिया इसके प्रति थोड़ा उदासीन जरूर रहा है, बिल्कुल रहा है। और जिस तरह से इसको प्रचारित या प्रसारित करना चाहिए था, प्रमोट करना चाहिए था, वो नहीं हो पाया। बाबा रामदेव की बात जरूर आई, तो वो जो प्रमोशन हुआ वो सबको मालूम है किस तरह से हुआ, कैसे हुआ, उस पर मैं ज्यादा नहीं जाना चाहूंगा। लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि हर चीज एक दूसरे से जुड़ी हुई है। खास तौर पर अगर मैं एक छोटा सा उदाहरण दे रहा हूं, आज के जगत में क्रिकेट बहुत पॉपुलर है। मीडिया में अब धोनी कुछ करे या कोई भी कुछ करे तो तुरंत मीडिया उसको पकड़ लेती है, दिखाती है। तो ये ऐसा नहीं है कि मीडिया दिखाती है बोलकर क्रिकेट पॉपुलर है। क्रिकेट पॉपुलर है इसकी वजह से लोग देखते हैं, इसकी वजह से हम दिखाते हैं। और जो भी हम दिखाते हैं खबरें, उसमें एक तो डेटा होता है हमारे पास कि हाँ ये चीजें लोग देख रहे हैं, इसलिए उसको दिखाने पर हमारा जोर रहता है। दूसरी ओर आयुर्वेद के प्रति जो उदासीनता है, उसकी एक वजह जो मुझे लगता है कि एलोपैथी इतना प्रभावी हो चुका है या इतना ज्यादा लोगों के मन में है। आज अगर मेरे घर में किसी को बुखार हो या मुझे बुखार हो, तो सबसे पहले क्या याद आता है? एक टैबलेट ले ली जाए, पैरासिटामोल ले ली जाए, कुछ भी ले लिया जाए। तो उस जगह पे हमें ये क्यों नहीं याद आता है कि आयुर्वेद की कोई ये चीज हम लें? तो इसकी क्या वजह है वो आप बता सकेंगे? मुझे लगता है कि एक विश्वसनीयता बहुत जरूरी है यहाँ पर लोगों के मनों में, कि जिस तरह से काढ़ा के प्रति विश्वसनीयता बढ़ी थी कि हाँ काढ़ा पीने से हम इम्यून सिस्टम मेरा अच्छा होगा, तो वो विश्वसनीयता मुझे लगता है कि यहाँ पर भी होनी चाहिए सभी के मन में। खास तौर पर छोटी मोटी जो बीमारियां हैं और जो हम शुरू से ही हमारी जो प्राचीन पद्धति रही है उस पर हमारा यकीन रहा है। और आज से सालों पहले तो एलोपैथी थी नहीं, तब भी ये सब बीमारियां थी, ये दूर होती थी। तो आज की तारीख में हम एलोपैथिक की ओर इतना क्यों जा रहे हैं, जबकि आयुर्वेद जो हमारी खास तौर पर हमारी प्राचीन पद्धति है, हमारे आसपास है, पर्यावरण है, हमारे आसपास है, पेड़ पौधे हैं, उन्हीं से सब कुछ है, हमारे किचन में है, जैसा कि पवन जी खुद कह रहे थे। तो उसके प्रति एक विश्वसनीयता बहुत जरूरी है। और वो विश्वसनीयता कहाँ से आएगी? वो आएगी एविडेंस जो बेस्ड अगर एग्जाम्पल्स हो, उदाहरण हो। अब मेन स्ट्रीम मीडिया की बात थोड़ी देर में बता रहा हूं, लेकिन अभी आपके पास जो सबसे बड़ा धारदार हथियार है वो है सोशल मीडिया, डिजिटल मीडिया। उसमें भी आप बात कर रहे थे यूट्यूब चैनल की, आपने यूट्यूब चैनल खोला है, तो एक दो चीजें उसमें भी मैं बता दूं। जैसे जो रिसर्च बेस्ड जो चीजें हैं, अगर आप कोई वीडियो डाल रहे हैं यूट्यूब पर, तो उसका जो सबसे ज्यादा ट्रैक्शन आता है वो आता है 3 मिनट से 10 मिनट का जो वीडियो होता है। ये रिसर्च प्रमाणित है कि अगर 3 मिनट से छोटा होगा तो उसका ट्रैक्शन कम आएगा, लोग कम देखेंगे। 3 मिनट से 10 मिनट के बीच का अगर जो वीडियो होगा तो उसका ट्रैक्शन सबसे ज्यादा आता है। दूसरा ट्रैक्शन किसका आता है? रील्स का आता है। बहुत छोटे छोटे जो शॉर्ट्स होते हैं, शॉर्ट्स और रील्स, आपको इन दोनों पर बहुत ज्यादा काम करना होगा। अगर इस पर आप काम कर सकें तो मुझे लगता है कि काफी ज्यादा, क्योंकि आज की तारीख में अगर मैं आपको सच बताऊं तो हम भी सोशल मीडिया पर ही आधारित होते जा रहे हैं धीरे धीरे, चाहे वो प्रिंट मीडिया हो, चाहे वो मेन स्ट्रीम टीवी मीडिया हो। सोशल मीडिया से ही ज्यादातर खबरें निकल रही हैं, उसी को हम पकड़ रहे हैं। और धीरे धीरे मैं आपको बताऊं, धीरे धीरे सब कुछ जो है टीवी जो माध्यम है ना, वो धीरे धीरे कुछ सालों में, बहुत ज्यादा साल नहीं लगेंगे, इसका जो दायरा है वो संकुचित होता जा रहा है और संकुचित होगा। और जो सोशल मीडिया है, जो डिजिटल मीडिया है, मोबाइल सबके हाथ में है, वो बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ेगा, बहुत तेजी से बढ़ेगा और बढ़ भी रहा है। तो इसमें आपको जो वीडियोस वगैरह हैं उस पर आपको बहुत ज्यादा, अगर आप करें गौर, तो उस पर आपको बहुत, मैं आपको कहता हूं, मिरेकुलस रिजल्ट्स आपको मिलेंगे, खासतौर पर रील्स, शॉर्ट्स और वीडियोस में। इसमें भी आपका जो यूट्यूब चैनल है, उसमें चैनल में जाके आप देख सकते हैं कि किस वर्ग के लोग देख रहे हैं, किस तरह के वीडियो लोग पसंद कर रहे हैं, किसको लोग पसंद कर रहे हैं, ये उस YouTube चैनल में भी आप जाकर देख सकते हैं। तो उससे आपको अंदाजा मिलेगा कि कौन सी चीजें लोग पसंद कर रहे हैं, लोग देख रहे हैं। और उससे आप अपने को बेहतर कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि जो हम लोग कर रहे हैं वो हम आपको बता रहे हैं। हम लोगों को कैसे पता चलेगा कि लोग हमें देख रहे हैं डिजिटल या सोशल मीडिया में? और सोशल मीडिया, डिजिटल मीडिया में सबसे अच्छी बात है कि आप पता लगा सकते हैं कि आपको कौन लोग देख रहे हैं, क्यों देख रहे हैं, किस विषय के लिए देखा गया, किस वर्ग के लोग देखे, यंग देख रहे हैं या बुजुर्ग देख रहे हैं या मध्यम वर्ग के लोग देख रहे हैं, ये सब आपको YouTube चैनल के जरिए आपको पता चल जाएगा। आपका जो चैनल है उसी के भीतर पूरी की पूरी, और बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है ये, आप उसके भीतर जाके ये सब पूरा देख सकते हैं कि किस तरह से लोग देख रहे हैं, क्या देख रहे हैं, क्यों देख रहे हैं। उसके माध्यम से आप अपने वीडियोस को बेहतर कर सकते हैं। रोचक थोड़ा बनाना होगा, बहुत जरूरी है वो। और ये तो हुई सोशल मीडिया, डिजिटल मीडिया की बात। मेन स्ट्रीम मीडिया में हम देखिए, व्यक्तिगत आधार पर मैं कोशिश कर सकता हूं अपने ट्विटर पेज के जरिए जो आपके वीडियोस वगैरह हैं वो मैं शेयर करूं, उसको बढ़ावा दूं। लेकिन मेन स्ट्रीम मीडिया में अगर आपको कुछ भी बढ़ावा देना है तो उसके लिए सब कुछ यहाँ कॉमर्शियलाइज्ड है। जैसा कि इससे पहले राधिका जी बोल रही थी कि सब कुछ यहाँ कॉमर्शियलाइज्ड है। यहाँ पर आपको प्रमोशन करने के लिए, कुछ भी बढ़ाने के लिए आपको या तो विज्ञापन का सहारा लेना होगा। आप अगर चाहते हैं कि आपकी कोई पद्धति और उसको यकीन दिलाना है तो किसी सेलिब्रिटी का सहारा लेना होगा। तो उसी माध्यम से आपको आगे बढ़ना होगा। लेकिन एक दूसरा माध्यम भी है जो मैं आपको बता रहा हूं। आपको प्रमोट कैसे करना है, किस चीज को करना है, उस पे आपको, अगर आप चाह रहे हैं मेन स्ट्रीम मीडिया में आए, तो मान लीजिए कोई ऐसी बीमारी है या कोई ऐसी जानकारी है जो आम लोगों के पास बिल्कुल नहीं है, जो बहुत रेवोल्यूशनरी है, क्रांतिकारी है, उसको आप अगर किसी माध्यम से थोड़ा सा प्रमोट कर पाए तो वो जो मेन स्ट्रीम मीडिया है वो आपके उस चीज को, उस खबर को तुरंत प्रसारित करेगा। तो ये चीजें आपको थोड़ा, मुझे लगता है, ध्यान देनी होंगी। और बाकी तो आयुर्वेद के बारे में बहुत कुछ सुनना समझना बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है। और जहां तक काफी वक्ताओं की बात सुन रहा था, शुरू से ही सुन रहा हूं, तो जानकारी भी काफी मिल रही है। और फिलहाल तो यही कहना है, अगर आपको इसके बाद कुछ जानकारी चाहिए या कुछ किसी तरह की बात है या मेरी कोई बात खराब लगी है तो उसके बारे में भी आप मुझे बता सकते हैं। अक्षय तृतीया और परशुराम जयंती की सभी को बधाई।
अनुपम जी नमस्कार, थैंक यू सो मच। आपने, यू हैव टेकन अस अगेन, हमने एक शब्द यूज किया, टेक्निकलिटी। आपने, यू हैव टेकन अस इनटू दैट स्पेस, शॉर्ट्स, रील्स, वीडियोस। अब if we take an average Ayurveda student, if we take an average आम आदमी, knowledgeable person, अगर उनसे पूछे शॉर्ट्स रील्स के क्या है इनमें फर्क, and to emphasize that point, that technicalities which you have very nicely introduced us to, I could show you a small paper, बिल्कुल छोटी सी एक paper, just to highlight the point about the technicalities here. This is a paper, अब इसमें शुरुआत, this is an International Ayurvedic Medical Journal, उसके अंदर it is a paper from Madhya Pradesh, from Bhopal. अच्छा, इसकी, just look at the title and see how many words you will understand, which you expect the common man to understand. अब इसको वामन कर्म, पटोलारी कषायम, amalapitta. Now, the point I'm making here is there are technicalities that needs to be understood by a larger number of people.
Exactly. सिंप्लीफाई करना होगा इन सब आम या ज्वर जो बोल रहे हैं, ये आम लोगों की समझ में आना बड़ा मुश्किल काम है। इसको एक लेमन कॉमन लैंग्वेज के तौर पर भी विकसित करना मुझे लगता है जरूरी है। अगर आपको अपनी रीच बढ़ानी है, 130-40 करोड़ के देश में अगर रीच बढ़ानी है, जहां पर इतनी भाषाएं बोली जाती हैं, तो आपको कोई एक माध्यम तो चुनना ही होगा, एक लेमैन। और ये सारा का सारा जो है, मुझे लगता है 99% संस्कृत से जुड़ा हुआ है। और आज की तारीख में संस्कृत एक तरह से लुप्तप्राय है भारतवर्ष में। तो ये जो भी चीजें हैं ये हमसे जुड़ी हुई हैं, लेकिन चाबी मतलब ताला है, चाबी गुम हो गई है। तो
हम अनुपम जी, हम कहते हैं कि हमारी एक और डिफरेंट एक्सप्रेशन, हम कह रहे हैं कि बंदूक तैयार है, चलाने वाले है ही नहीं।
Yeah.
सर
ये हाँ।
जर्नलिस्ट है, सिंप्लीफाई करने के लिए उनको ये टास्क दिया जाना चाहिए फ्रॉम द ओनर्स ऑफ द न्यूज़पेपर। अगर वो इसको मानेंगे तो हम तो फिर करेंगे।
राधिका जी, खाली
अनुपम जी एडिटर है तो ये उनके हाथ में कमांड हो सकती है, ये जिस तरह उसको घुमाएंगे वैसा घूमना पड़ेगा।
Anupam ji, Radhika ji, खाली यही चीज नहीं है. I want to come back to that point I touched on briefly. This is a skill. कि चरक संहिता से एक श्लोक लेके उसको ट्विटर बनाना हो, it is a skill. अब you have a skill which is journalism. The Pandit log who understands the Vaidya log who understand Charaka Samhita, they have a skill. We need to find a way to bring this together, you know, and this is what Pavanji is trying to tell us. Ki skills develop karo. This is a skill.
I think it has to be simplified. It has to be a common man's language, and you can do it. Everyone can do it. I don't think it will take a huge, humongous task. But if you do it with examples, शॉर्ट्स और रील्स में क्या है, आपको थोड़ा सा एग्जांपल देना है, जैसे बुखार हुआ है उसमें ये दवाई खाइए, इस तरह से एक एग्जांपल्स देके कुछ आपको रोचक रील्स शॉर्ट्स बनाने हैं। जो 3 मिनट से 10 मिनट के जो वीडियो हैं उनमें भी आप सिंप्लीफाइड भाषा में अगर उदाहरण देकर बनाएंगे तो ये मुझे लगता है, देखिए कोई भी चीज है वो विश्वसनीयता के ऊपर ही उसका प्रचार प्रसार बढ़ेगा, और वो विश्वसनीयता मुझे लगता है कि एविडेंस बेस्ड अगर हो, और एक दो नहीं कुछ ज्यादा एविडेंस हो, उसके बाद धीरे धीरे उसका प्रचार प्रसार होगा, तो मुझे लगता है कि वो बहुत ज्यादा कारगर साबित होगी।
चलो जी, प्लीज स्टे विद दिस अनुपम जी, क्योंकि आपके योर एनालिसिस, हमारे जो चर्चा अलग अलग चर्चा जो चलते हैं, योर एनालिसिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। आपके वो ऊपर दृष्टि से आप what you understand, we want to see. It may not happen in today's event. In the events to come, we will come together again. We might discuss offline, but please stay with us so that we get some more perspectives from our panelists. Pavanji?
It is just new introduction, sir, with Anupam ji. I will be troubling him again and again.
Acha, sabash. Pavanji,
excellent, excellent, Anupam ji. You have guided us very much.
And Anupam ji, be aware when Pavanji says he will trouble you, he will really trouble you. So be aware.
I'll take your words.
In a very healthy way. In a very healthy way, he will get you back for productive things. Very productive.
Welcome.
Thank you again for being with us. Thank you for sharing that 1 or 2 insights. We will follow up. Thank you, Ji. Please stay with us. Pavanji, namaskar.
Now I would like to request Mr. Nishant Verma. He is communication professional, though associated with Cell also. So I would like to request now Nishant ji, please bless the platform with your expertise and motivational speech. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for being here. So we have talked about, Anupam ji has talked about most of the aspect of social media, reels, whatever is trending currently, and he is in tune with the time. And Radhika ji being associated with such a big brand which is promoting Ayurveda in a big way across the world, and is doing amazing job when it comes to promoting Ayurveda. So I'll quote some example. I mean, at the end of the day, Ayurveda today is, if I break down Ayur and Veda, I mean, it is study of life. It is as simple as that. And it has been passed on to generation after generation, even though it has been documented in a big way in Indian medicine system. Still, there is, hesitancy when it comes to adapting to the Ayurvedic system. Allopathy, on the other side, has been able to market itself as the go-to medicine system. And how they have done it, I mean, I will touch upon those aspects. What they've done is they've formed a whole ecosystem of medicine system. They've not just formed a medicine system, they've formed an ecosystem of medicine system, which includes the
True.
pharma companies, the big pharma companies, the vaccine makers, and then comes the market research guys, the salesmen, which are, it might offend the medicine fraternity, but actually their salesmen are nothing but doctors. They prescribe. Similarly, I mean, even though when it comes to Ayurveda, there people do not always refer to doctors. They believe in self-medication because that knowledge has been passed on from generation to generation. Their grandfather, grandmother, like somebody said, we would just rub the leaf of Genda marigold flower and we're just good to go. So certain knowledge has been passed on to generation after generation because it was part of our culture, but it was not part of the global culture, I would say. Because Indian medicine system was Indian, even though, and I'll take you back to the history. I mean, how the Indian medicine system, which was pretty strong, and it was also one of the biggest reasons that why Indian economy was huge and why we are not there now, because our traditional ways of living, our traditional culture have depleted because of invasion of various other cultures. So we are trying to not only preserve and safeguard ourselves, and then first we have to safeguard ourselves, and then we go on to promotion. Everything is step by step. So we are trying to, if you promote any Ayurvedic medicine, there will be a huge resistance from the market. There will be a huge resistance from the whole ecosystem. What will happen? For example, Baba Ramdev's Coronel is the biggest example that we have in the recent times. When Coronel was launched, he said this is the cure for Corona. And then there were a huge hue and cry about, how can he say that, it is the cure. What happened after that? The controversy started. The whole health media, there were both pros and cons. And Baba Ramdev, being one of the biggest advertisers, obviously helped him in getting a positive PR also. But there is a big sect of journalists who were against it for various other reasons.
Yes.
They could be, they're part of the ecosystem. They could be sponsored by pharma companies, because Baba Ramdev is surely a big threat for the pharma, the allopathy form of medicine. Without getting into controversy, we are just observers. We are not making any, comments, or we're just giving our observation, what we observed during that time. And if I am a student of communication, I mean, I observe what things, how things are shaping up, and I am only commenting on those things. So what first, rather than treating allopathy as an enemy or any other form of medicine, I think like our Prime Minister Modi said, it is time for holistic medicine. Let us not negate allopathy, because it is surely curing a lot of people, even though it has side effects or whatever. Everything. I mean, if it is not taken in a way that it is supposed to be taken, it will obviously have side effects. Even though you are taking an Ayurvedic medicine, it might also react in a different way if you do not need it. Like sir showed the scientific paper where it said, it talked about, it was very technical, but I think it was a technical paper, so it was supposed to be technical. So a lot of people, I mean, it is the marketeer's job to make it simplified. And there has to be an ecosystem in Ayurvedic system also. Let us adapt. I mean, we see a lot of religious fights, my religion is better than yours. But I think our Indic culture that we have is more about learning from all the culture and that imbibing it into our culture. Similarly, Ayurveda has to evolve. It is there. It is a perfect medicine system. But what it has not done in the new age is it has not been able to market itself. And what I'll also touch upon, how to market, because communication is nothing but a tool which will help you market Ayurveda as the medicine system. And I will not get into the details of social media, how to do it. You make reels, you put it on YouTube. Everybody knows what all channels are there, how to get it done. Like WHO will never recommend any Ayurvedic medicine. The way it would recommend a Covishield or a Pfizer or X or Y, because it is run by the pharma industry. The body is nothing but a certification body of giving importance to that ecosystem. So either we create a similar once. It is a long way to go. Either India become a superpower and then we start creating our own system, which becomes the authority in the world. So it is way too far. We have to take baby steps. We have to move, and we have to also be very scientific, because Ayurveda is total science. It is whatever is existing. We need to document it more. We need to, after documenting it, we need to make those things simple and make people understand. It is a long process going into exactly. Like any other product that you would market. For example, Elon Musk. When you talked about Elon Musk does not spend a lot of money in marketing. You will not see a Tesla ad on television. You will not see a Tesla ad on Facebook promoted post or whatever. What he has done is he has made himself larger than life. He tweets, he makes one tweet and it creates a lot of controversy. He has more than a couple of million followers. What it does is whenever he tweets, people see it. When people see it, people know him as the founder of Tesla. Tesla by default gets promoted. Similarly, similar case study we have here is Baba Ramdev. Baba Ramdev, what he did initially was he promoted yoga big time. I am personally, I learned yoga watching him on Asta channel way back in 2002. And what it did was, it transformed me into a totally different person. What I was. For a student to, be so calm and relaxed in life, since then, I think since I started doing yoga, since I started following his yoga patterns, it led me to another level of meditation, which he was not showing on television, but it gave me that quest of what more. And subtly, after his yoga session, he would talk about this is how you can make this medicine at your home. I think he is probably the kind of job that he has done towards service, that he has done towards Ayurveda and yoga. It is immense. Whether you call him a marketeer, a baniya, or whatever, you can call him names, but his contribution can never be negated. Patanjali, what he did was, we've been all following. He was the real guru of yoga and Ayurveda. But taking cue from what Baba Ramdev, I think that is the case study for every Ayurveda practitioner. And he used social media, he used YouTube, he created those small videos, and it's high time we as Indian practitioners become professional about it. We become creative about how to promote it, like small videos, and let us not promote too much self-medication, because for complicated ailments, you need specialized doctors. For example, like Dr. Agnihotri said, that liver Dr. Kajaria, his family member is apparently a friend of mine, and he had his liver. He went to ILBS. They said, there is no other cure than liver transplantation. But then, they didn't want to get him transplanted, so they took him to this All India Ayurveda Center where Dr. Kajaria, she treated him, and he was absolutely fine without any transplantation, with no surgery, nothing, with just the Ayurvedic medication. And changing his lifestyle. So Ayurveda is nothing but study of life. So this is, I mean, it does not really, make those horrendous changes in your life the way allopathy medicine would take. So it is probably the best possible form of medicine available today. Yet we are not able to market it properly because I think we need to start from childhood. Let us get into the course books, like how nature, what nature gives you, and how certain basic herbs, how they help you slowly and gradually. When we talk about the Indian medicinal system in the curriculum, I think it will create more aware generation about the nature and the natural ways of living, which is Ayurveda. And talking about mediums, we need really big time. We need today the influencers, the social media influencers, the journalists who talk about health, and probably the young travelers who travel. There is a huge community of travel influencers. When they travel into nature. Let us get this surrogate marketing going. When they travel, let us ask them to talk about the herbs that they find in the Himalayas, the herbs that they find in the south, the spices, the role of spices. Like Dr. Hegde, Dr. P.M. Hegde has done immense service to Indian ways of medicine, even though he's a cardiac surgeon. But he talks a lot about the Indian medicine, because a lot of times you do not need allopathic medicine, but a lot of times you might need allopathic medicine. So let us not negate any form of medicine, but let us create a more holistic ways of healing. At the end of the day, it is the purpose of every medical practitioner is to heal the patient. And unfortunately, the pharma industry gives you a lot of commission for recommending this medicine, that medicine. So the commercial goal is different. So maybe if we can create that kind of ecosystem where we are able to create that incentive program for the medicine practitioners, I think we might be able to market it better, and also make the more we market, the better it is for the medicine, traditional medicine also. We will have to have blogs. Let us get some international writers talking about it, and how India it fought the COVID pandemic. Even though it has caused a lot of devastation, but it is also a case study for the current generation and the mankind, that how India, most of us, my family was also infected, like most of us, and but we stuck to for most of our time we stuck to the Ayurvedic medicine form, because there is no medicine in allopathy which can say that it can cure. If it is about management, then I think Ayurvedic medicine was also doing that. Rather, when I incorporated yoga and the kriyas into it, I healed much faster. So I took more of holistic medicine, I would say. I cannot negate that I did not take allopathic medicine, but I was more dependent on Ayurveda and kriya and yoga. I had only single day fever, even though I isolated for 2 weeks. But rest of the time, because I was doing every day twice Jalneti, and I think it is one of the best cure that I could find for COVID. If you do twice a day, if you know how to do Jalneti, I think you will heal much faster, because it cleans your system. So COVID is nothing but an infection by a virus. So virals are treatable. Viruses have always existed in the nature. We've always gotten infected. We've healed. If we have a good immune system, we can always bounce back, hopefully. And I think it's high time that we create influencers, more and more influencers, who subtly talk about the traditional ways and lifestyle. The biggest brand ambassador today that we have for the Indic traditional medicine system or Ayurveda or yoga is our Prime Minister. He introduced the International Day of Yoga, which is, I think, a great, great victory for India as a nation, because India, the world is giving weapons to each and every country. They're selling, the healthcare system apparently is not healthcare. It is more of an ailment marketing system. They first give you all these fast food, and they give you all the ailments, and then they have the pharma system, the whole ecosystem of life, the way they've developed just to grow their economy. But India, I think, has the power of becoming world leader, which I think India already is. It has been spiritually the spiritual center of the world, and this is the more we market the Indian spirituality, the better it is for the world also, for the world peace also. I think yoga and Ayurveda are the biggest tool towards world peace, because if your mind is clear, you will never get into those activities which would harm the world. So with this, I would like to conclude my session, sir. Thank you so much.
Nishantji, thank you so much. You have given several pointers, and your comment about the ecosystem is very, very important. We don't appreciate how networked people are when we come to sharing messages. When we look around the world, and the other example you gave was Elon Musk and the Tesla cars, and how there's no need for advertising this. It just follows. I have in the chat box, Nishantji, I put one or two other comments here. I like very much your comment about being creative in this space. You said about travelers and travel channels. There is a lovely channel called Street Foods of India. And if you look at the number of subscribers, the number of hits it gets is incredible. How to make that. And I think we need experts like you, communication experts, to come and join with us and offer workshops, offer programs, because there may be some students who are
No
in the
audibility,
Ayurveda
Dadaji, no
colleges.
audibility for 10 to 15 minutes.
It is audible to all, sir. We are listening.
Yes, we are getting his voice.
Domaji, namaskar. Can you hear me? I hope you can hear. आपने निशांत जी, आपने एक दो चीज और बताया कि incentivize travelers and travel channels. ठीक है, this is a very good thing, and I think the younger generation will be excited. Suppose we go to, I keep talking to Agnihotri ji ki Uttarakhand agar dekho. Uttarakhand is one state, has over 100 peaks with altitude greater than 6,000 meters. Or Europe ki, the highest peak in Europe is about 4,500 meters. So there are subtle points like this, but the moment agar choti cheezon mein agar ghus jaye hum, you will suddenly realize the amount of work that is needed. Agar Uttarakhand, मान लो हम ले उत्तराखंड आयुर्वेद यूनिवर्सिटी को लेके अगर उसकी एग्जांपल उसकी तरफ जाओ, हर एक पीक को लेके you can have an entire channel, you can have an entire Twitter channel ki Nanda Devi ke upar, or about K2, or about each of those things. So the amount of information that is there is already, but we need to teach our young students how to engage in this space. And I hope you will be with us and encourage us and teach us how to think in that communication way. Aaj Modi ji is here in Europe. He is here for the Nordic nations meeting. And this morning, just a few hours before, he was received by the Prime Minister of Denmark. If I look at the global media today, kahin bhi nahi hai news ki Modi ji is here in Europe. He is meeting, he's come for the Nordic nations convention. India is having kahin bhi, no media is reporting this except WION, WION. And that is, so what we are saying is awareness. Our young generation must become aware of these things. No use watching CNN today if you want to understand what Modi ji is doing. So there are many subtle points, and only communication experts it's a specialization. You have studied communication. You went to university, you studied. Jaise, our students go to university to study Ayurveda, or students go to study modern medicine. This becomes such a specialization. There is no cross-fertilization. And I hope Pavanji's idea is that we enable this cross-fertilization between disciplines. So we are delighted that you have taken time to be here with us. And we feel privileged that you are guiding us in this way. And I hope you will continue to guide us as we go along in this journey. Thank you from my side and from all of us here, Nishantji. Thank you. Many other comments I'm going to put in the chat box, and I'll come back to this.
If anybody has any question, you can find me on LinkedIn by my name, Nishant Verma, or just find me on Instagram, Nishant Verma Photos. Just write to me anytime you need any help whatsoever. I'm always there to promote anything that has to do with India and humanity. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Before we go, before I give the floor, I was going to give the floor back to Pavanji, but I just want to highlight, Nishantji, यहाँ पे University of Edinburgh से एक study चल रहा है जल नीति के ऊपर. अब यहाँ पे चल रहा काम, but nobody knows about it. हिंदुस्तान में, पुणे में, the Mangeshkar Hospital, the chief doctor there has been doing jal niti and putting YouTube, but nobody knows about it here.
A lot of people know about it, sir, apparently, about the Mangeshkar Hospital, but, you know, even Swami Vivekananda had to go to Chicago to tell the Indians what Sanatana Dharma is all about.
Yeah,
So,
first it has to go to West,
you know,
and
I think every part of the world is blessed with some energy. So when you talk in US, it gets resonated in India. But when you talk, you know, in probably in Ghana or in Djibouti, it gets heard nowhere. So, you know, I think it's all, you know, God has his own plan, and which are we cannot answer. I think.
Nishantji, we are very happy that all of you have joined us today, and Pavanji will keep us together as a group as we take this platform forward. And particularly for the younger students who are looking for alternatives. What else can we do? We have studied Ayurveda. Now we want to do something in a related area. So communication is a very big space that can absorb so many people. There may be very talented students who can make those video clips, and it can become an entire lifetime of work for them. So we look forward to your help and guidance, and thank you again for joining us today.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you so much.
Pavanji.
Thank you.
Pavanji, आपका म्यूट चल रहा.
हरिओम, हरिओम. मैं तो आज really I am overwhelmed that so many guides are here and I am in dark. Really, I should not be in dark when so many lighthouses are there. Really, great to listen all. So now session is open, sir. Welcome. Lokenath Tiwary ji.
I thought
Lokenath Tiwary ji has not been connected.
Achha ji.
He has some problem in meeting.
Thank you. Pavanji, thank you so much. Number one, we want to thank you, Jayesh Thakkarji, and everybody for bringing so many wonderful people to the platform. I know Agnihotriji ji also we have to thank because he has brought Radhika ji to the platform.
Radhika ji and Nishant ji today, two contributions are from
Professor Badan sir, I with all my pleasure and proud, I like to inform you that Mr. Nishant Verma is a very good friend of my elder son. And my son suggested that Nishant may be of great use.
Beautiful.
My son is also viewing on our running live, and he has joined. He incidentally he sent me link to join. While as I'll be there from 5:50. So it's a wonderful. He reached by car from say Haridwar to Bombay last night at about 2 a.m. Covering the Lahore Spiti to this thing with the jeep this campus. So anyway, we have got good stuff to discuss, and Mr. Nishant, I do hope that you will be there at least up to my comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Agnihotriji, we are lucky that you have so connected in some way or other. You're bringing people. I want to open this discussion, but Pavanji, our first guest today is a person who is new to the platform, Alka Gupta from Thailand. Alka ji, namaskar.
Namaste.
Namaste ji. Thank you for listening. I can see you are listening very carefully. Please tell us who you are and how you came to know about this channel, and tell us a little bit also about your feedback on today's event.
Okay. Nishant ji introduced me for this platform. He sent me invite for this webinar, and I'm in Thailand, Bangkok, since last 2 decades with my family, and I own my healthcare wellness company here in Bangkok, and practicing more than 25 years yoga, naturopathy, and Ayurveda. And definitely it was very enlightening to listen all the esteemed speakers today. And
Alka ji, did you study, sorry to interrupt you, did you study Ayurveda in India?
No, I studied yoga and naturopathy. I am doctorate in yoga, but गुरु शिष्य परंपरा से मेरा आयुर्वेद में ज्ञान बहुत है और मैंने काफी इसका अध्ययन किया है, तो आयुर्वेद शामिल है और मैंने जितना सुना उसमें कुछ चीजें मैं भी जोड़ना चाहती हूँ। और जैसे कोरोना पीरियड में यहाँ थाईलैंड में थाईलैंड की जो ट्रेडिशनल मेडिसिन सिस्टम है ये काफी कुछ आयुर्वेद से मिलता है, सिमिलरिटी है। और यहाँ पर कोरोना के समय में चिरायता जिसको हमारे भारत में कहते हैं, तो फथालाई कहते हैं यहाँ पर थाईलैंड में उसको, तो ये गवर्नमेंट ने कंपलसरी कर दिया था अलोंग विद एलोपैथी, मतलब उसको हर किसी ने लिया ही लिया। तो मेरा मतलब कहने का कि जब गवर्नमेंट का इंटरफेरेंस हो जाता है तो चीजों का जो एक्सेप्टेंस है और उसकी जो विश्वसनीयता है वो बढ़ जाती है। तो ये चीज हमारे भारत में अभी और वैसे तो गति पकड़ रही है चीजों की, इसमें कार्य करने की और आवश्यकता है। और कोरोना के समय यहाँ थाईलैंड में एलोपैथी से ज्यादा ट्रेडिशनल मेडिसिन सिस्टम में लोगों ने भरोसा दिखाया और उससे प्रिवेंटिव मोड में और क्योर में भी उन्होंने आयुर्वेद, योग, नेचुरोपैथी तीनों का ही और जो भी अपनी लोकल ट्रेडिशनल मेडिसिन सिस्टम जो थेरेपीज हैं। मैं वैसे WHO में पैनल एक्सपर्ट हूँ, थाईलैंड को मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ आयुष से मैं रिप्रेजेंट करती हूँ। और अभी जो एम योगा ऐप अभी जो हमारे PM मोदी जी ने लॉन्च किया 2021 में, आई वॉज वन ऑफ द पैनलिस्ट फॉर दैट ऐप डेवलपमेंट, रिव्यू एंड पीयर रिव्यू। एंड दिस जो भी योगोत्सव चल रहा है, अगर आप लोग अवेयर हो, 100 कंट्रीज 100 लोकेशन जो योग का जो कार्यक्रम है, इसमें थाईलैंड में मेरी कंपनी मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ आयुष की नॉलेज पार्टनर है अगाथ हेल्थ केयर। और आयुर्वेद का मैं बोलूँ तो आयुर्वेद की एक्चुअली खूबसूरती भी यही है और इसका कॉम्प्लिकेशन भी यही है कि ये पर्सनलाइज्ड है। इसको हम जनरलाइज जब हम कर देते हैं तो इसकी एफिकेसी में डेफिनेटली फर्क आ जाता है। और यही हो रहा है कि हम इसको जनरलाइज्ड सर हो रहा है और हर एक के द्वारा हो रहा है। मतलब इसको कहना चाहिए, अगर गिलोय की बात मैं करूँ तो गिलोय की लेने की कई विधियां, इसको 5 से 6 तरीके से हम ले सकते हैं। और वात पित्त कफ की बात, तो चूंकि आयुर्वेद त्रिदोष थ्योरी पर आधारित है तो हर चीज वात पित्त कफ के अनुसार ही आपका आहार विहार दिनचर्या सदवृत्त, जब तक पूरा एक होलिस्टिक वे में हम सिर्फ इसमें मेडिसिन काम नहीं करते, ये तो डेफिनेटली श्योर। और आजकल रेडी टू ईट और इंस्टेंट चीजों का जमाना आ गया है, तो इसलिए आयुर्वेद का एक्सेप्टेंस भी लोगों में थोड़ा सा कम, एलोपैथी में इजी लगता है। अब लोगों को लगता है क्या क्वाथ बनाए, क्या काढ़े बनाए, कैसे क्या, तो एक पुरुषार्थ की भी कमी है जिसको कि हम पुरुषार्थ बोलते हैं। तो लेकिन इसमें मुझे लगता है कि एक स्विच करने में, एक पैथी से दूसरी पैथी में आने में जो एक 150-200 साल से ज्यादा का जो एक गैप आया है, इट विल टेक टाइम। लेकिन जब हम शास्त्रीय विधि के द्वारा जो उसका शास्त्रीय ज्ञान है, मतलब जो एक ऑथेंटिक जो हमारा वैदिक जो हमारे शास्त्रों में वर्णित है आयुर्वेद का ज्ञान, जब हम उसके आधार पर हम चीजों को आगे ले जाएंगे तो वो बहुत ही सॉलिड होगा, परमानेंट होगा। मैं जैसे अपना पर्सनल ही एग्जांपल आपको दूं, मेरी 2 बेटियां हैं और मैंने तो मुझे याद नहीं है, मुझे 32 इयर्स हो गए मैंने कोई मेडिसिन नहीं खाई। मैं हॉस्पिटल, मेरी बेटियां हॉस्पिटल कभी विजिट नहीं करती, मैंने उनको वैक्सीन भी नहीं दिलवाई, उनको कोई वैक्सीन, वो आयुर्वेदिक पद्धति से ही पल बढ़ रही हैं। और जो भी यहाँ पेशेंट आते हैं वो भी होलिस्टिक मेरा इंटीग्रेटिव पैकेज होते हैं, जितने भी बीमारियों के हों या और भी वर्कशॉप्स होती है, सेमिनार्स होते हैं, टॉक्स होते हैं। तो मुझे लगता है कि इसमें हमें हताश निराश होने की जरूरत नहीं है। एक ये यात्रा का आरंभ हुआ है और एक चीज से हम दूसरी चीज में हम स्विच कर रहे हैं, तो डेफिनेटली इट टेक्स टाइम टू ओवरकम दैट पर्टिकुलर ट्रांजिशन पीरियड। और आयुर्वेद तो हमेशा उसकी वैज्ञानिकता और उसकी जो एफिकेसी उसको हमें सिद्ध करने की, मैं तो जब रिसर्च की बात आती है तो हमारी एलोपैथी सब रिसर्च बेस्ड होती है मेडिसिन, फिर भी उसके इतने कॉम्प्लिकेशन होते हैं, फिर भी उसमें इतने साइड इफेक्ट होते हैं। तो आयुर्वेद तो जो है हजारों सालों से हम देखते आ रहे हैं अपने फोर फादर्स एंड सिस्टर्स में। हाँ डेफिनेटली जब कोई चीज मतलब अनुसंधान उसका हो जाता है तो नो मतलब हाउ एंड व्हाई जो फैक्टर होता है, और स्पेशली फॉर न्यू जनरेशन वो बहुत जरूरी है उनके लिए। उनको एक बार अगर उनके कि व्हाई का अगर जवाब मिल गया एंड हाउ का जवाब मिल गया तो फिर उनके लिए इजी हो जाती है ये जर्नी इस चीज में, इस ट्रैक में चलने के लिए। तो हमें उसको बहुत ही साइंटिफिकली और उसको बहुत एनालिसिस के साथ और उसको होलिस्टिकली इंटीग्रेटिव उसमें हमें ये, मुझे लगता है कि अभी ये 80-20 का रेशियो, अभी हमारा 80 जो हम एलोपैथी की तरफ पहले जाते हैं, बाद में जब चीजें बिगड़ने लगती तब हम आयुर्वेद की तरफ जाते हैं। मेरा मानना है कि अगर हम शुरू से आयुर्वेद की तरफ पहले जाए, फिर अगर हम लास्ट में हम एलोपैथी की तरफ जाएं तो शायद समीकरण कुछ और होंगे, क्योंकि आयुर्वेद एक होलिस्टिक वे में काम करता है। वो आपके आहार पर भी काम करता है, आपकी साइकोथेरेपी भी उसमें होती है, उसमें आपका विहार भी, दिनचर्या भी होती है, आपका वर्क प्लेस, तो सब फैक्टर्स देखकर आयुर्वेद काम करता है। तो उसमें बीमारी को बढ़ने की संभावना बहुत कम हो जाती है और एलोपैथी पर धीरे धीरे इस तरह से डाउनफॉल आ सकता है। तो ये हमें विश्वास जगाना है कि ये जो 80-20 और 20-80 इसको हमको बदलना होगा, इस इक्वेशन को हमको बदलना होगा। तो ये एक छोटा सा मेरी तरफ से आज का ये।
Thank you, Alka ji. Please could I request Ravi Tuli ji, आपका screen चल रहा जी. Please could you stop sharing your screen so that our viewers can get. Ravi ji, namaskar. Pavan ji, you have control on the system. Could you stop Ravi Tuli ji's screen share? Alka ji, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. Very happy to know that you are part of the M-Yoga advisory team for WHO. Alka ji, ek sawal before, now that you are here with us, and we have so many other people also joining us today, a very brief question. What do you see as the way we must all engage with this new WHO center that is coming up in Jamnagar? Iska matlab, all of us, we are all excited about that initiative. And you have seen how WHO, the secretariat works and how messages are gathered from different parts of the world, from different member states, and how it is finally packaged into something. What can we do? Is there something we can do as Aam Aadmi? As far as WHO is concerned, we are Aam Aadmi. What can we do? But we know the technicalities, we know how WHO works, we know the strengths and weaknesses there. What can we do to make sure that there is an agenda that is consistent with people's wishes?
मुझे लगता है कि जब सरकार के स्तर पर कोई चीज होती है तो आम आदमी का एक रोल प्ले वैसे भी सीमित हो जाता है, एक कम हो जाता है। लेकिन हाँ, अगर हमें उसको चूंकि ये अपने आप में एक बड़ा अचीवमेंट है WHO का जो भी गुजरात में बना है, तो इसमें हमें शुरुआती दौर से ही इसको, जो हमारा अपना आयुर्वेद है, जो जनक है सभी चिकित्सा पद्धतियों का, तो इसमें हमें थोड़ा सा रिसर्च वर्क और बढ़ाकर और उस चीज को हमें वहां पर इसको एंट्री और दिलानी पड़ेगी। क्योंकि जैसे आपने पहले बोला कि इन्होंने, निशांत जी ने, कि आयुर्वेद WHO में एक्सेप्टेड है, TCM है, ट्रेडिशनल चाइनीज मेडिसिन WHO में एक्सेप्टेड है। तो इस पर हमको थोड़ा सा, क्योंकि इतना हम काम कर ले उस पर कि उनके लिए नो की कोई संभावना ही ना रहे, इतना रिसर्च वर्क अभी हमारा थोड़ा सा कमजोर है। और ये पार्ट मुझे लगता है जैसे जैसे मजबूत होगा, जितने ज्यादा टेस्टिमोनियल्स होंगे, जितना ज्यादा इस पर काम होगा, और वो चीज को अगर हमने एक बार स्टैब्लिश कर लिया, आयुर्वेद अगर हमारा एक इसका पार्ट बन गया ऑफिशियली, WHO में एक्सेप्टेंस इसकी हो जाएगी, तो ग्लोबली इसका बहुत इम्पैक्ट पड़ेगा। और ये
Thank you.
इस पर
Alka ji, thank you so much. One request from our viewers and our people here with us in the platform today, please share your contact details on the chat box so that people can connect with you. Aapne jo bataya ji that you have never been to the doctor for the last few decades is a message that the whole world needs to hear again and again and again. So thank you for being with us. Please stay with us because there may be some questions for you too, based on what you have shared with us today. There are many, many new people in our platform today. So everybody is open to, we are open to questions, comments. The best way would be to go to the reactions button at the bottom of the page and raise your hand so that we can see you, and the raise hand then arranges the people in sequence as to who raised first, like what I have done now. So the floor is open. We look forward to all of you sharing your thoughts and spending time with us and adding to what the speakers have offered, or sharing whatever you wish to share. Alka ji, so thank you once again. Thanks to Nishant ji for bringing Alka ji to the platform. Namaskar, Nishant ji. Thank you so much. We have Madhu Sharma. Madhu ji, namaskar.
Namaste, sir.
Madhu ji, welcome to the platform. Thank you so much. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, sir. I'm Dr. Madhu Sharma from, I'm assistant professor in Chinmaya Degree College, Haridwar. I'm in the botany department, sir, and I'm teaching for the past 16 years. I came to know about this webinar through Dr. Radhika, madam. So,
welcome, Madhu. Pleasant surprise.
Thank you, ma'am. How are you, ma'am?
You're so active. That pleases
Madhu ji,
me.
thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for tell us a little bit more about some feedback on today's, what you have heard today. Tell us a little bit more about where you would like us to take these discussions, where you would like it to go.
I would like to integrate all these discussions, and I will try to discuss these things with my students, as I have we have a subject named plant diversity in our BSc. So I'll take this part to and try to make things clear to them. What I think, all the medicines are all the what should I say, all the different, like allopathy, homeopathy, all these are integrated. So we should work together so that the diseases should be controlled in a proper way.
Thank you, ji. Madhu ji, thank you so much. You know, once upon a time in our colleges, we used to have a discipline called economic botany. And this was a very, very important area of work. The economic botanist was a very important person, and he or she was an integrator of this knowledge systems, you know. And when I look back today and see what is missing in the way we excite our students, there are many gaps in our system, I feel. And we are happy that you have joined us today. I want to thank Radhika ji for bringing you to the platform.
It's true, sir, but I'm sorry I joined a bit late. So the earlier part, I missed many of the earlier part. So will be, is there any link so that I can see the missed part in YouTube?
Yes, all of our programs, we are on the 367th webinar. Pavanji holds a world record for the maximum number of webinars held by one individual. So that is Pavanji's platform. And we, Agnihotri ji, Doma ji, and many Vishnu Prasad ji, the senior people, we just are part of this whole team. We are excited to be part of that team, but without Pavanji's energy, we couldn't have done this. Number two, all our webinars, we call them conferences because we get such a collection of wonderful minds and they go on for a long time, but generally about 3 hours. They're all recorded. We have our archive. I will put the link to the archive on our on the chat box. Now, Madhuji, what you have said is a very important thing. The young people need to get excited about this. This is what Nishant ji is saying. Young people need to come into this platform, ask the questions. And somehow there is still a gap in this. Our young students are disconnected from something. I don't know what it is.
एक्चुअली सर मुझे लगता है कि ना इस तरह के जो वेबिनार्स हैं उनकी प्रॉपर जो है जैसे मीडिया के थ्रू, न्यूज़पेपर्स के थ्रू एडवर्टाइजमेंट होना चाहिए, जिससे कि मैक्सिमम लोगों को पता चल सके। क्योंकि शॉर्ट ड्यूरेशन में मुझे भी आज ही पता चला, और मैं बहुत, वैसे तो मैंने काफी अपने स्टूडेंट्स को भी और सबको इन्फॉर्म किया, लेकिन मे बी दे आर बिजी इन देयर डिफरेंट वर्क, सो दे वर नॉट एबल टू ज्वाइन। लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि एटलीस्ट 1 वीक पहले जो है या 2 दिन पहले भी इस तरह का अगर इंफॉर्मेशन ज्यादा से ज्यादा अगर हम पास करते हैं तो मैक्सिमम लोगों को हम जोड़ सकते हैं, उनके व्यूज एक दूसरे से हम शेयर कर सकते हैं।
मुझे पहले करना चाहिए था, मैंने आज ही किया। I confess.
नहीं, it's not your fault, ma'am. But
no, still, like you pointed out rightly. और सर अभी आगे के भी जो नेक्स्ट वीक के हैं, अभी से हम फेसबुक और सोशल मीडिया पे शेयर करें ताकि people get time to prepare themselves to attend the session.
और सर मेरा सजेशन ये है कि एक्चुअल में स्कूल्स या कॉलेजेस में कुछ इस तरह के हम अरेंजमेंट्स कर सकें जिससे कि हम लाइव इंटरेक्शन जो है मॉर्निंग आवर्स में कर सके, मतलब वर्किंग डेज में। जैसे आज हमने लिया है तो मोस्टली जो है स्कूल कॉलेजेस में ऑफ है, हॉलीडे है, तो वर्किंग डेज में इस तरह के जो है इंटरेक्शंस अगर हो तो वो काफी अच्छा रहेगा फ्यूचर में स्टूडेंट्स के लिए भी एंड फॉर ऑल द पीपल।
Thank you. Madhuji, I will just draw in Agnihotri ji just to comment on this. आपके एक छोटी सी
मैं कुछ बोलना चाहता हूँ।
हाँ जी, पावन जी बताओ जी।
शुरू में जब वेबिनार्स की संख्या कम थी तब हम लोग 4 दिन पहले 5 दिन पहले लिंक और पोस्टर देते थे
जी सर।
लोग लेकिन इतनी स्मरण शक्ति कमजोर है तो वो इतना अंदर चला जाता है सोशल मीडिया में, दूसरी चीजें ऊपर आ जाती हैं तो लोग ज्वाइन नहीं होते थे। आज हमारी मजबूरी ये है कि हम रोज वेबिनार कर रहे हैं और यदि हम उनकी पहले से भेजने लगे तो कंट्रोवर्सी क्रिएट, कौन सा किसको जा रहा है। जैसे अभी हमारे लोकनाथ तिवारी, वो कल हमारे राकेश निगम जी बार क्लिक कर रहे हैं उस लिंक को जो 20 मार्च की थी, तो ये कंफ्यूजन हो जाता है। क्षमा चाहता हूँ, इसीलिए मैं बाध्य हूँ कि रोज की रोज ताजा मैं फ्रेश लिंक भेजता हूँ।
जी सर।
पावन जी has taken note of this. मधु जी आपकी बात भी बिल्कुल सही है कि अगर थोड़ा सा बच्चों के लिए it will be much easier if there is a schedule somewhere in the timetable कि this time there is some activity going on. We have noted this point. We will discuss this offline. Ji, thank you for highlighting this point.
Sir, moreover, one other important point is this, that as Dr. Madhu Sharma is telling, it may be also available during the school time institution. I think the regular classes of different subjects will suffer. Number one. Number two, since it is this webinar platform is international, so we see that Canada person, UK person, Mauritius person, Nepal, Sri Lanka, these all joined it with a comfortable time to them also. So we with all discussions made this either in summer 6 to 8 and in winter 5 to 7. So after a great discussion and all that, it became almost conducive to all participants and speakers too. So, but still your point is vital, and we are in Haridwar. We have got our daily YouTube link in also available in our archives, so you can be benefited and your students may be benefited. Your subject is wonderful. Botany, we cannot proceed any further without botany, because we have got the herbals, all our herbal plants, and we got identified through the Latin name, through the botanical with the xylem and phloem. So your work is always wonderful. So we would like to have that you please join every day and see what we are doing. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Definitely, I'll try to do so, sir.
Madhuji, another possibility, you can see in this platform, we work at some speed. And this might be not, this platform in particular, the way it is run now, like what Pavanji said, might not be the best one to bring children in, because we are working at such speed. And we might, Pavanji will think about this and we will make a special platform only for children. We can do that also. That is another possibility, so that it fits in as a structured, as a little more structured program with input from people like yourself who can guide us in shaping this thing.
वैसे सर मैं समझ रही हूँ क्योंकि काफी डिफिकल्ट होगा स्टूडेंट्स को स्कूल लेवल कॉलेज लेवल में इसमें लिंक करना, लेकिन जैसे अभी मैडम बता रहे थे कि हमें जो है आयुर्वेद पद्धति में बचपन से ही जो है हमें शिफ्ट ओवर करना पड़ेगा, तो वो राइट टाइम है अभी। और अगर हम स्कूल लेवल से अभी से जोड़ना स्टार्ट करेंगे तो जैसे मैडम ने कहा, तो हम राइट फ्रॉम द चाइल्डहुड जो है बच्चों को जोड़ सकते हैं।
थैंक यू माधुजी, वी विल टेक your आपके जो comments are all recorded. We will revisit this, we will review this, and we will come back to you. Please give us your contact details on the chat box so that we can establish contact with yourself. Agnihotri Ji is there in Uttarakhand, in Dehradun, Haridwar area, and then we can take this forward, Ji. What you have shared is very, very important. We have so many new people on our platform today. So the platform, as I said, is open to anybody who would like to comment. Ramdas Ji is joining us from Kerala. Ramdas Ji, namaskaram.
Namaskaram, sir. Namaskaram.
You are always connected with the community. You're always connected with the young minds, and your comments we welcome. Thank you so much for putting your thoughts. Now, please, the floor is yours. Be brief so that we can get some more people, and then we will come back to you. But we want to hear your thoughts on this very important point, because you are a Sanskrit expert and your comments are always appreciated. We deeply appreciate your insights that you give. And not only Ayurveda, but I feel that whole thinking behind Sanskritam should also go to school children, and they could all be integrated in a wonderful way. Please.
Sir, 2-3 terminologies. First one is Siddhanta. Actually, if you take Sanskrit, Ayurveda, you can find out the terminology is Siddhanta. The definition of Siddhanta is you are making a principle after going through many examinations. Parikshagaihi Bhuvidam Pariksha is the definition given by Charaka Samhita. You just somebody is speaking.
Ravi ji, namaskar. Please, could we either Pavan ji can mute yourself, or Ravi ji, namaskar. Please, if there is a way to mute your microphone, then we can continue with our.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that term Siddhanta is there. That means during the time of Charaka Acharya itself, the research was very strong in Ayurvedic concepts. And if you take modern science, you have one principle, you are applying it for thousands of or lakhs of crores of people. And Ayurveda gives very clear option that as there is Prakriti differences, as there is combination of Prakriti differences, as there is Taraptama Pratyaya of the Taraptama differences in the influence of the Prakritis or the the rasas as well as the doshas in the body of human being, you cannot generalize the path of treatment for the crores of people the same. It should be different. The principle is same. So it is not right that always you speak on research, but case presentations. That is what is the very important. Each doctor, after completion of a treatment, he should justify his treatment in terms of the principles that which is explained in Ayurveda very clearly. And always Ama, and always that is not there. See, there is Shaka, there is Madhyama Marga, there is Shaka, there is Mean. There are different paths are there for the treatment. Each one should be specifically in the case presentation in the language of Ayurveda. If it is written, it is purely, very clearly research-oriented treatment only, research-oriented science only is created by the Ayurveda Acharyas. Unfortunately, we are not creating anything of such type of connection with the theory. We are just treating, the patient is okay, fine. And half of the modern terminologies we are using in that one, half of the Ayurvedic terminologies we are using in the case presentation. No case presentations are purely based on Ayurvedic terminologies. If the people are ready to study it and ready to write it, I am telling you 100 and 200% Ayurvedic is scientific. It has its own language. It has its own scientific aspects also. And one more thing, today the seminar is on media, and the people who are establishing through the media, there should be a journalism specifically for Ayurveda.
Oh.
Specifically for Ayurveda, you create graduation or whatever it may be, he should be basically very clear about what are the siddhantas, what are the principles. So many cases he should read, case presentation he has to watch. Such a journalist, if he is writing, it will become purely a scientific journalism. If that is, if you are going, it is good. And always speaking about looking at Ayurveda through yoga or the Prakriti Chikitsa, it is not right. Ayurveda has its own scientific path. Prakriti Chikitsa has got its own scientific path. Yoga has got its own scientific. Somewhere else they are joining in some of the aspects, that's all. So it does not mean that look at Ayurveda through yoga or look at yoga through Ayurveda. It is not right. You just study deeply the yoga from beginning to the end, and deeply study Ayurveda from beginning to the end. And you see what is happening over there. When we used to teach the textbook, we used to tell that, did anybody read the Vagbhada from the beginning to the end completely? Did they know what is Tachilya, what is the Tasmat Sheela, what is the Sheela or the style of Vagbhada completely? You know Vagbhada completely, you know Charaga completely, and see how they are explaining the theories, how they have related the theories from the beginning to the end in a proper manner, the path of explanation of the textbook. And after that, you compare Charaga and Vagbhada, it will be correct. Just reading Nidhanasthana of the Vagbhada and Nidhanasthana of the Charaga, if you start comparing the Nidhana of Vagbhada with the Charaga, you cannot. You must learn Sutrasthana, you must learn the Nidhanasthana, Chikitsa, even whatever be the whole textbook you have to completely know, because the text, you know that. That's why Tantra Yukti. See, Adida Vekshana, Anagada Vekshana, why they are writing? By learning one sthana, you cannot master Vagbhada. That is why that 36 Tantra Yuktis are being created. So learn a author completely, learn his path of presentation completely, learn the other author same way, learn yoga from the beginning to the end, learn Ayurveda from beginning to the end, and you start comparing. In between, if you compare, it will be incomplete. This mistake also is largely happening everywhere, just by taking some certificate courses in yoga, certificate courses in Ayurveda. The people start writing the papers comparing Ayurveda with yoga. See, it will not be complete. There will be confusion.
Ramdasji, thank you so much. You have touched on a very important point, particularly like this comment about journalism specifically for Ayurveda. And I think we must open this dialogue with our journalism schools and colleges, with our communication schools and colleges like Nishant ji is here.
It should come. It should come.
To demand a standard where they, unless you have that kind of background, you shouldn't be writing columns or writing news items related to Ayurveda Yoga. Thank you so much. Please stay with us. Please stay with us because we have a few more people. Your point is very important because this touches a little bit on what Alkaji presented from Thailand. I'm looking new people here. DK Srivastavji, namaskar. Would you like to add something? Domaji, namaskar. The floor is for you, Domaji. We know that you have some very special things that you will be able to tell us. Very briefly, we would love to hear from you, Domaji. This issue about how to bring the authenticity of our Ayurveda, Ayush systems for communicating good stories or knowledgeable stories to the world. Domaji, namaskar. Domaji? Namaskar. If Domaji is unable to contact, I want to see if Manu, Dev, Verma-ji, would you like to add something here? If I can see Stina-ji is here with us. Stina-ji, namaskar.
Namaskar. I'm in the car, so I don't put on my my
Okay.
video.
We don't want accidents in the car. Okay.
No, that's true.
Some of our discussions today were in Hindi, so I don't know if you followed very much, but I think you get the idea that we are talking about the role of journalism and taking messages about Ayurveda out to the public, opening up debates in the public fora about Ayurveda, but in a responsible way, taking it out to an international community, again, in a very responsible way. I think Ramadas ji's comment was very important, that only if you have some mastery of the knowledge of the systems and the philosophy are you able to write and present stories well. Now, we like that you have joined us. You're joining us from Sweden. And I know you have appeared, Stina-ji, I know you have appeared in the press. You are very active with the press in Sweden. Would you like to share something?
Well, there was someone talking about that the importance of influencers here. And I feel that is a really good way to have someone who's really interested in Ayurveda, who could be athlete or whatever, just an influencer, and to do some co-creations with people in another field. It doesn't have to be Ayurveda. You can bring Ayurveda anywhere, and to write about it and to learn people about how to use it on a daily basis. And another perspective is it's to actually change perspective, to see the clients as customers and ask them, what is your problem? And then you can do the opposite way. So you understand the problem of the client, and then you can present it easily from the Ayurvedic perspective. So that's the way of seeing how what people need, not what we would like to tell, because it's not always the same thing. Perhaps we have so much knowledge, so it's so nice to talk a lot about Ayurveda in a very difficult way for people to understand. But if we do understand what's the problem that people are dealing with in their daily life, then it's easier to address the solution. That's what I think.
Tina,
yeah.
could you give us one or two examples where you were engaged in Sweden in that space, particularly the end user's perspective? I know you are studying Ayurveda, but tell us a little bit, if you can give us one or two examples, because it's a very important thing that you're saying.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So I have done some webinars with people, and one of them is with a person who's into functional medicine. And functional medicine is very much like Ayurveda. And when we unite these two scientists, then it's the science, then it's, we do it we have another approach. And I think people are really interested in it because we can reach a wider public, like she's bringing in people who are interested in the science and functional medicine, and I can add the Ayurvedic perspective. Well, it's also science, but not as we know science here. So that's one perspective. And well, in a few weeks, I will have an event with the sommelier. Well, that's the person who knows about wines. So I will talk about health from a perspective of food, but I will actually allow people to drink wine because it's more here. It is more about how you eat than what you eat. So I have to bring it to a level where people can understand that Ayurveda is nothing that is dangerous because you don't know what it is, and it's not too many things that are forbidden. You can also talk about it in a way that people will recognize it. So that's one way to do it. And then usually I shouldn't say that I am successful. I mean, there's so much more to do, but I really think even if you're not, you can just put things on Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever, and TikTok. That's
TikTok,
just
yeah.
ask the kids how to do it. I will ask my son how to use TikTok, and he made a video with me. It's horrible, but sometimes you have to just do it one first time, and then it will be easy next time. So I guess that's kind of my advice today.
Thank you, Stina. Thank you. Safe driving wherever you're heading. Thank you for
Thank you so much.
Very much like your comment about connecting with different disciplines. So in the case of in India, for instance, this could be a dialogue between Ayurveda and modern medicine, or Siddha and modern medicine, or Ayurveda and Siddha, or it could be from the end user's perspective, like what Madhuji has said with school children, how to engage. It's opening up all kinds of exciting possibilities. Thank you, Stina ji. Safe travels wherever you are heading. I don't know if our panelists would like to come in at this point, just to give Nishant ji namaskar, whether you would like to comment on all that you have heard as we are approaching.
I think Ms. Tina also made very relevant points on, how to make it, we should be marketing what people want to, consume rather than what we want to sell. One aspect, I mean, when I was hearing Mr. Ramdas, he made very relevant points, but I think, even if at all we were able to promote Sanskrit as a language, which is more scientific, and but unfortunately we've not been able to do that because from the implementation point of the language, we've not been able to implement it, as in it has not been able to become a day-to-day language in our lives. So that's why it has lost its, I won't say relevance, but I would say that it has lost its way of utility in our daily life. So once we become, we are able to, language is also one of the biggest tool of promoting your culture. And medicine system is also a cultural part. It comes with civilizations. Unani medicine came when the Mughals came in. Homeopathy came in after the globalization, and probably the German started traveling to India, or allopathy came when the British came. So this is when a civilization is changed or conquered or invaded, it is not just the piece of land that is conquered. It brings in language, it brings in culture, it brings in ways of living, and it brings in the thought process change, and it actually changes you completely. So since India did not invade other landmarks, land spaces, we've not been able to, because India, if you see historically, has only shrunk. It has not expanded. The whole of Asia was once very much influenced by India. If you see, you will find historical ruins, which would talk about the Indian presence across even till Indonesia or Uzbekistan, or even Middle East, for that matters. So we've not been expansionist by nature. So it will take us, I think, a huge evolution of mindset change to become expansionist when it comes to, because when the conquering mindset can expand across the world, why not a humanitarian mindset grow? So
Nishantji, your point is very important and very well presented, this thing about expansionism. We have reached a point where we now have technology that we couldn't even imagine, like what is happening now. And could we look at the problem slightly differently? Again, this is from, you are the communication man here with us. You gave us some ideas. Stina ji has given us some ideas of how to present this, and you've given us that historical context. The question for me and for many of our viewers is whether we can use this new medium, that the new media that are the new methods. You know, we started off in our discussion talking about social media. Can we use that kind of systems which never existed before? Can we leverage that to our advantage? Is it something that is easy for us to do? Do we have the skills to do it? Once again, do we have the skills to do this?
Absolutely, we do have this skill. We do have the skill. We are today, Indians per se, are one of the biggest influencers in the world. Take a brand like Google. Who presents that brand? It is an Indian. Microsoft. Who presents the biggest democracy, the brand of biggest democracy? Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So we are nowhere lesser influencers. It's how we see ourselves. And it has to be, you know, systematic. We need to know the path where we are going and how we are going. In communication, the fundamental starts with where we were, where we are, and where we want to go. When these fundamentals are clear, we'll be able, just hold on. Sorry, I have a little one who just came in. There is a power cut.
That's fine. We are a family-friendly gathering.
Yeah. There's a power cut in Delhi, so probably the free electricity is kind of overloaded. So we need to know where we are going. So these three fundamentals remains the same when you talk about anything in life. You know, be it communication, be it brand promotion, be it life. You know, we always have to have a vision where we want to go. And it is, I think, the human quest, you know, of the being existent as a human being. You know, this would remain fundamental of life. And how we're going to take it, I mean, we need to have a procedural way of doing it. We need a lot of intellectual sessions on it. We need to have, you know, academics is one of the biggest, you know, pillars of, you know, promoting knowledge and how we're going to do it. And I would say religion is one of the biggest way. You know, Ayurveda is nothing but life science. And, you know, you have to target religious institutes. Not specifically Hindus, not specifically any religion. You know, most of the institutes, you know, in every country, every culture, you will find a lot of education system is based on religion. You know, the madrasas, the missionary schools, you know. So you have to integrate all of them. And when you see a brand like Horlicks or a brand like Complan or a Dairy Milk, or you know, they will always show kids in their ad. Why? Because once you know, you are able to take your product to a child, it goes a long way. You know, the child has to grow. And, you know, childhood habits don't go so easily. So you are making them addict or consumer of your product. So when they can promote, you know, the sugar-laden harmful products, you know, in the name of health drink, why can't you promote good things?
Nishantji, I want to stop you there, and I want to bring Dr. D.K. Srivastavji, who is joining us from Rishikesh. Dr. Sahab, namaskar. Thank you so much for being here with us.
I'm listening your wonderful thought and vision about Ayurveda and all the vision which is needed nowadays from worldwide. And really, today is the day for journalism and the journalist in the contribution for the social well-being for all the things. And in childhood, I appreciate a poem from the Prem Chand, and it was really very remarkable. Dhara bech denge, gagan bech denge. अमन बेच देंगे, चमन बेच देंगे, कलम के सिपाही अगर सो गए तो वतन के पुजारी वतन बेच देंगे. And I appreciate it, and it is
कलम की
really
सिपाही, शाबाश, बहुत
and
बढ़िया.
it is really wonderful if Ayurveda want to grow universally. The communication by the media, the transportation of the message of the good things, it is really needed. And I am spreading the things in Europe from 12, 13 years, so I can feel it. We have a lot of our ancestor and our gurus is much more intelligent and powerful. Ayurveda principle was very powerful, but we lack here to not promote ourselves out of our city, our vision and value to the world. And now when the communication and all things come on the floor, so that is, I am listening you all, wonderful thought, how it is really.
Sorry to interrupt. Our
Yes.
audience want to know a little more about yourself. I can see you have a stethoscope around your shoulder. Which,
I am Dr. D.K. Srivastava. I am in my OPD at the moment. I am Ayurvedic physician, MD in Swasth Vritta, and I am running my hospital, Navajivanam Kayakalp and Medical Research Institute. It is in Rishikesh from last 20 years. And from 2008, I become member for European Education of Ayurveda when WHO from 2005 started to enhance and develop all the alternative medicine. So I was fortunate that in Switzerland in alternative school, they invited me to be part of that. And on this contrary, I am visiting every year and I am covering 4 countries. So in every country, I am delivering my lecture in Ayurveda, how it is well-being and how it is giving us disease-free. Because in Europe and Western community, they are not receiving as a treatment. But here we are curing the diseases, chronic diseases, renal failure, cancer, skin diseases, arthritis, psychosomatic wonderfully. And on that good success rate, I also make a documentation which I am presenting in different countries in Europe. So they are.
I'm going to stop you here. Could you please put your contact details in the chat box so that people here can communicate with yourself? I think some of the comments you have raised resonate with what Nishant ji is saying. So we are grateful for your being here with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Excuse me, Professor Mananji.
I'll
just like to inform you that as we were not yesterday present in our webinar, he was our guest speaker on yesterday.
Sorry, my apologies.
On World Laughter's Day, and very humbly he becomes to my student from Rishikul.
I thought as much that
so I introduced, and he also earlier joined on that Holy Kavi Sammelan Day with Ranjan Verma. So he's a wonderful person and he's developed a lot and he communicated the soul of Ayurveda above and beyond India. Thank you.
Before श्रीवाच जी एक बार और सुनाइए जी वो जो आपने कलम के बारे में जो बताया एक बार और सुनाइए।
प्रेमचंद जी की कविता है, धरा बेच देंगे, गगन बेच देंगे, अमन बेच देंगे, चमन बेच देंगे, कलम के सिपाही अगर सो गए तो वतन के मसीहा वतन बेच देंगे.
Hari Om. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Please stay with us because there are a few other people here who will be taking it. Alka ji, would you like some comments on what you have heard? Kalam ki sipahi ki bare mein jo Srivastava ji ne jo bataya ji, because that is so relevant for today's theme, Kalam ki sipahi.
बिल्कुल ये लोकतंत्र का चौथा स्तंभ है, 4th पिलर है, तो इसकी आवाज बहुत दूर तक जाती है अगर कलम के जो अक्षर बहुत मजबूती से लिखे जाएं. लेकिन यहाँ मैं थोड़ा सा करेक्ट करना चाहूंगी, ये प्रेमचंद जी ने कभी पोएट्री नहीं लिखी, मुझे अभी याद नहीं आ रहे किनका लिखा हुआ है, लेकिन ये प्रेमचंद जी का नहीं है, उन्होंने कभी पोएट्री नहीं लिखी. ये व्हाट्सएप में
हो सकता है, सॉरी सर.
नहीं, ये रेलिवेंट है, बहुत ही सुंदर पंक्तियां हैं, लेकिन प्रेमचंद जी की नहीं है. ये व्हाट्सएप में हाँ व्हाट्सएप पे बहुत सर्कुलेट हुआ था, तो ये मैंने कमेंट इसमें डाला भी था कि उन्होंने कभी पोइट्री नहीं लिखी, ही वाज मतलब गद्य के लेखक थे वो।
जी जी।
और जैसा कि आपने बताया आयुर्वेद का, तो बहुत अच्छा लगा। 20 वर्षों का आपका ज्ञान है, आप ऋषिकेश में हैं और यूरोपियन आयुर्वेदिक एसोसिएशन में आप लेक्चर्स आपके होते हैं। आप थाईलैंड भी आए हैं कभी? थाईलैंड आना हुआ है आपका कभी?
अभी हुआ नहीं है, लेकिन जरूर आएंगे। थाईलैंड के बहुत लोग आते हैं।
यहाँ पर भी इंडियन स्टडीज सेंटर हैं 2 यूनिवर्सिटीज में, महिडोल यूनिवर्सिटी है, थमासात यूनिवर्सिटी है। तो वहाँ पर आयुर्वेद के काफी यहाँ पर गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया और एम्बेसी के कोलैबोरेशन से काफी यहाँ पर होते हैं। कभी होगा तो मैं डेफिनेटली आपको इनवाइट करूंगी यहाँ। और कॉन्फ्रेंसेस वगैरह यहाँ ओरिएंटल मेडिसिन में होती हैं, और अच्छा होगा, ज्ञान का विस्तार होगा आयुर्वेद का। और एक चीज मैं ये जोड़ना चाहूंगी कि ठीक ये बिल्कुल सही है कि किसी भी स्ट्रीम का, वो चाहे योग हो, आयुर्वेद हो, नेचुरोपैथी हो, या कोई भी विधा हो, उसका एक सिस्टमैटिक ज्ञान, डिग्री, वो सब जरूरी है। लेकिन जहाँ ये बात आती है आयुर्वेद और इस तरह की विधाओं की, ये साधना पक्ष भी इसमें बहुत जरूरी है। खाली डिग्री से इसका जो एफिकेसी वो नहीं आती। मतलब जैसे हमारे वैद्य वगैरह थे पहले, वो प्रकृति से जुड़ते थे, वो उनका साधना पक्ष मजबूत था, वो आज लैक करता है। वो चीज उस चीज की लैकिंग है, और उस पक्ष पर भी हमको उतना ध्यान देना चाहिए। खासकर ये 2-3 जो विधाएं हैं, योग है और आयुर्वेद है, प्राकृतिक चिकित्सा है, तो इसमें हमें प्रकृति से, और वी हैव टू सेट एग्जाम्पल फर्स्ट, की जो भी प्रैक्टिशनर है उनको स्वयं में एक एग्जाम्पल सेट करना होता है। तो उससे क्या होता है कि कन्विक्शन आता है हमें, जब हम दूसरों को इस विधा के बारे में बताते हैं कि हजारों साल पुरानी से ऐसा है, और हम निरोगी का, जैसे कि आयुर्वेद की ये टैग लाइन है कि स्वस्थ स्वास्थ्य रक्षण विकार प्रशमनम च, मतलब कि स्वस्थ व्यक्ति के स्वास्थ्य की रक्षा करना, अगर कोई किसी को विकार हो तो उसका प्रशमन करना। तो हमें एज अ प्रैक्टिशनर फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल इसको व्यक्तिगत रूप से पहले इस्टेब्लिश करना है। इसके बाद वो धीरे धीरे वर्ड ऑफ माउथ से, फिर ये इस जैसा कि बताया कि टेस्टिमोनियल्स और केस स्टडी, रामचंद्रन जी ने बोला कि केस स्टडी पर्सनलाइज्ड, ये आयुर्वेद पर्सनलाइज्ड है, इसको हम जर्नलाइज नहीं कर सकते। हर व्यक्ति का जो है ये बहुत ही व्यक्तिगत रूप से इसमें चिकित्सा इसमें होती है। तो मेरा ये, मैं जितने भी मेरे टॉक्स होते हैं, वेबिनार्स होते हैं, और उसमें मैं यही बोलती हूँ कि जितने भी प्रैक्टिशनर है, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल इसको हमें पूरे होलिस्टिकली व्यक्तिगत जीवन में इसको उतारना है, और एग्जाम्पल सेट करना है कि हाँ, आयुर्वेद से हम एक संपूर्ण जीवन को पूरे समग्रता के साथ हम जी सकते हैं। और तब वो हमें कुछ कहने की जरूरत नहीं है, उनको सिर्फ देखने की जरूरत है और उनको फॉलो करने की जरूरत है। उनके लिए ऑटोमेटिकली ये एक इंस्पिरेशन हो जाएगी कि हाँ भाई, बिना दवा आहार भी एक चिकित्सा पद्धति हो सकती है, भोजन भी हमारा मेडिसिन की तरह काम करता है, हमारी स्वस्थ जीवन शैली भी, सुबह जल्दी उठना भी एक मेडिसिन है, रात में जल्दी सोना भी एक मेडिसिन है, हमारा आहार, व्यवहार, विचार, हर चीज औषधि है। प्रकृति की हर एक चीज औषधि भी है और अमृत भी है। एक शब्द आपके लिए विष का काम कर सकता है, एक शब्द वही हमारे लिए अमृत का काम कर सकता है। इसी तरह से आहार में भी हर एक चीज हमारे लिए पॉइजनस हो सकती है, वही चीज हमारे लिए थेरेपेटिक भी हो सकती है। तो इस तरह की बहुत सारी बातें हैं जो हमें व्यवहारगत तरीके से लोगों को पहुंचानी होंगी, और लोगों को कन्विक्शन देना होगा कि नहीं, दिस इज पॉसिबल, और ये कोई ऐसा मिरेकल नहीं है और बहुत ही रॉकेट साइंस नहीं है। थोड़ा सा एक शुरुआत में एक स्विच करने में थोड़ा सा दिक्कत आती है, लेकिन जब हम उसको उसका बेनिफिट मिलना शुरू होता है तो फिर वो उसमें एक प्लेजर आने लगता है।
Thank you, Alka ji. Very, very, very important point. हमारी एक कोचिन से एक जर्नल है जी. It is called Ayurveda and Health Tourism, Alka ji.
जी.
And on the screen is a little column that I'm just drafting. I have given it to them. उसके ऊपर the title is Health seeking behavior and the emerging one earth, one health world order. Uske andar, I have put some of these points, I put several things here, but I want to touch on this one comment here, that several lessons are emerging from these studies and actionables are being crystallized. Surprisingly important among these are simple, yet formidable and challenging non-pharmacological behavioral lifestyle and health-seeking associated interventions. और उसमें जो आपने जो बताया, health-seeking behavior has to be promoted and encouraged at all stages of life across the life course. और दूसरी चीज, health-seeking has to become the norm, not just a reaction to a health issue.
Exactly.
It's the tapas too, learning to discipline oneself when one knows what one should be doing for one's own good, and yet finding it difficult to follow the path, particularly when it sets you apart from others' behavior and certain things you enjoy. And I'm saying that point that you have touched on, it is so important, and that is all to do with that health-seeking behavior. And
Yes.
that, Srivatsav-ji is saying the same thing, Nishant-ji is saying the same thing, all our panelists are saying the same thing. And we are happy to hear it from you sitting in Thailand. We want to thank you once again for being with us and being so clear in your recommendations, Ki. The connection with the Prakriti, connection with the environment and understanding what is health, and don't wait for health and worry about health till you fall ill. Agnihotri-ji teaches this in the university, Swasthavrit. Srivatji is an example of what can come from that kind of education, but we need to take it to the common man. And how to do it in an uncorrupted way.
बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हैं ना, क्योंकि बहुत सारी चीजें जैसे ऋतुचर्या है, दिनचर्या है, और इनको एक साइंटिफिक वे में जब हम इनको लोगों तक वेबिनार और टॉक्स और सेमिनार्स के थ्रू जब हम इसको बताएंगे और लोगों को जब इसका फायदा मिलना शुरू, मैंने जैसे कि अपना एग्जांपल दिया, मेरी दोनों बेटियां हैं, बीइंग इन थाईलैंड, और एक ये नॉन वेजिटेरियन कंट्री है, अब हम लोग अनियन गार्लिक भी नहीं खाते, एग और नॉन वेज तो खैर दूर की बात है, तो लेकिन थोड़ा सा एक टफ होता है, और नेक्स्ट जनरेशन को ये पास आउट करना बहुत जरूरी है। अगर इस लेगेसी को हमें रखना है तो नई जनरेशन को साइंटिफिकली उनके जीवन का एक अभिन्न अंग बनाना जरूरी है, और उसकी जो शुरुआत है वो बाय बर्थ, मतलब जो हमारी आयुर्वेद में नवमास चिकित्सा से ही इसकी शुरुआत हो जाती है। फ्रॉम डे वन आयुर्वेद शुरू हो जाता है, क्योंकि आयुर्वेद मतलब जीवन का विज्ञान है। तो जिस दिन बच्चा पहली सांस लेता है और अंतिम सांस तक आयुर्वेद हमारे जीवन का अभिन्न अंग है। इट्स नॉट ओनली जड़ी बूटी मेडिसिन और समथिंग, इट्स द वे ऑफ लाइफ, how we think, how we earn, what we earn, how we eat, everything is Ayurved. तो हमें हर एक पल हमारा आयुर्वेद के सिद्धांत पर ही जीवन चल रहा है, उसको हमें और साइंटिफिकली थोड़ा सा इंट्रोड्यूस करना है, खासकर नई जनरेशन में, और ताकि वो शारीरिक रूप से तो स्वस्थ रहे ही, और साथ में क्योंकि जब हम सोसाइटी बनाने की बात करते हैं तो उसमें संस्कार भी आते हैं, क्योंकि आज हम डाउनफॉल की बात करते हैं, डिटेरिएशन की बात करते हैं कि समाज गिर रहा है, सब कुछ है, तो आयुर्वेद इस पर भी बात करता है। तो ये सब हमको पूरा नॉलेज और पूरी शिक्षा हमें आयुर्वेद से मिलती है। इसको बहुत ही एक साइंटिफिकली पैकेज बनाकर और इसके अलग अलग वर्कशॉप्स, प्रैक्टिकल वर्कशॉप होने चाहिए। इट्स नॉट ओनली वर्बल, क्योंकि वर्बल से आदमी सैचुरेट हो जाता है, सिर्फ शब्दों का प्रभाव नहीं, उसको क्रियान्वित करके उसको एक्शन बेस्ड वर्कशॉप होनी चाहिए। जैसे यहाँ पर मेरी बच्चों का एक मेरा पेटेंट प्रोग्राम है, आधारशिला फाउंडेशन स्टोन। तो उस आधारशिला नाम है और उसके 4 पिलर्स हैं, फिजिकल हेल्थ, मेंटल हेल्थ, स्पिरिचुअल हेल्थ एंड साइकोलॉजिकल हेल्थ। तो बच्चों को चारों दिशाओं में कैसे हम स्वस्थ रखें, क्योंकि फिजिकल हेल्थ इज नॉट ओनली सफिशिएंट, उनका जो मन स्थिति है, उनकी जो साइकी है, जिस तरीके के वो पीयर प्रेशर में रहते हैं, जिस तरीके के एजुकेशन सिस्टम में वो पढ़ रहे हैं, और स्पिरिचुअलिटी को, क्योंकि बच्चे कर्मकांड नहीं मानते, उनको अगर आप कहिए कि ये बैठ के ये ऐसे वो नहीं मानते, तो स्पिरिचुअलिटी को हम टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ और इस एजुकेशन सिस्टम में मर्ज करके उनको कैसे हम इंक्लाइन करें, ये भी हमें आयुर्वेद सिखाता है। तो ये बच्चों का मेरा प्रोग्राम है जिसमें बच्चों को पूरा प्रैक्टिकल वे में कि जमीन में बैठकर क्यों खाना है, इससे क्या हमारा एनाटॉमी में कैसे, एनाटॉमिकली उसको कैसे हमारे फिजियोलॉजिकली हमारे बॉडी में क्या क्या इम्पैक्ट होता है, एंड उनको फील कराना, फिर उनको सात्विक भोजन कराना और उनको बताना कि क्या क्या इंग्रेडिएंट्स हैं, क्या हमारे ये ऋतुओं पर आधारित क्या अनाज है, क्या सब्जी है, क्या फल है, फिर भोजन मंत्र क्यों करना है, क्या मंत्र रिसाइटेशन का क्या साइंटिफिक इफेक्ट है, क्यों ब्रेन में जो अल्फा हमारी जो वेव्स होती हैं तो ये हमारे टेंशन को, डिप्रेशन को, स्ट्रेस लेवल को, इस तरीके से इस प्रोग्राम के बहुत सारे पार्ट हैं। ये 3 दिन का वर्कशॉप होता है इसमें बच्चों का, और इट्स वेरी इफेक्टिव एंड इट्स वेरी गुड। तो इस तरीके की बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जी।
Alka ji, thank you so much. You are so clear in your presentation. We are deeply indebted to you today for being with us and sharing all your wishes and your thoughts with us. Before I return the platform back to Pavanji, I just want to highlight एक छोटी सी वेबसाइट जी, आपने जो अलका जी जो आपने जो बताया उसके ऊपर, this is a website called Body Tree, and the website I will put the link on the chat box. Body Tree. अब यहाँ पे एक चीज है जी, 1 day school on health. And I think many of the points that you are talking about, structure, posture, this is all yoga. Drinking and eating, this is, and then it talks about sleep. So what the person, he's an Ayurveda graduate, but he now lives with the Adivasis in Kerala near Trivandrum, and he's talking about how you can deliver strong messages in 1 day, the 1 day school on health. And these are examples that are there with us, and I hope that these kind of examples can also be taken out to the world as stories that are there, how they can be projected, and how they can, the message can be amplified with the help of scholars and practitioners like Nishant ji, who has studied communication, or our other panelists today who have taken Madhu Sharma's point today is very, very well taken, and how to take these kind of positive messages out to the world. Pavanji, there is a new person on our platform. If they are permitted, Preena Jain. Preena ji, namaskar. If you would like to say a few words, because you are a new person to us. Preena ji, namaskar. If you would like, the floor is yours. If you would like to say something. If Preena ji is not able to.
Yes, I'm here. So it's nice being there in this platform. And today's the first day, like I'm hearing things also from different disciplines. And I'm really like new to this platform. So I'm with great wonder, I'm watching things over here. Maybe like like in due course, like tomorrow I can share few more points in this platform today.
Thank you. Preena ji, we would like to know where you are connecting from, a little bit about yourself, because people who are watching might want to know a little more about yourself.
I am Dr. Preena Jain. So I am a homeopathic person. Like I'm working as a professor, HOD, Department of Community Medicine in Sri Sai Ram Homeopathic Medical College and Research Center in Chennai, Tamil Nadu.
Oh,
okay,
thank you so much for joining us. I hope you will put your contact details here for us, because Pavanji would like to communicate with you for future events. Preena ji, thank you so much for joining us today.
She is going to speak tomorrow, sir.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, sir.
Thank you, Preena ji. Thank you so much. We want to learn. We like this fertilization between the different disciplines. So, Pavanji, the floor is coming back to you. But before it comes back to you, I want to thank all our panelists today for these amazing thoughts, contributions. And it has clarified many, many points. And I particularly want to thank Alkaji for making things so clear to us. I wish to thank Srivatsi joining us from Haridwar, Ramadas ji for sharing several insights. And I want to thank Madhu Sharma ji. Madhu ji, you didn't tell us where you are located in Haridwar. You just gave us an abbreviation. I think Agnihotri ji knows where you are.
That is SFJN Degree College, just in front of my colony.
Achha,
It's a
you
very,
know this.
it's the oldest degree college of our Haridwar. Most renowned college.
Wonderful. Agnihotri ji, I am looking for the day when I can come and spend time with all of you in Devbhoomi.
You are always here. You are always here. You are always here with me for at least for 3 hours daily.
Thank you.
3 hours daily you are with me.
And physically welcome in Rishikesh also.
Thank you, ji.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. There are so
Naturally,
many
when he will be here, Rishikesh is not so far. Definitely he will come to you also, please.
That what is going to happen, Manudev Verma ji says super knowledge webinar. Thank you. Manuji, if you would like to say a few words, the floor is yours before Pavanji takes and does the takes on and maybe even tells us what we are going to have tomorrow. Thank you, Madhuji. Thank you for sharing your details. Gotcha. Manu Verma ji, let me see. Manuji, let me see if I can, maybe it's a problem from my side that we can't. Acha, there is a problem. It's okay. I sorry, I don't know what the problem is with your microphone. We cannot have, I don't seem to be able to access your microphone. Nishant ji, thank you again. You are an important part of this team. I hope you will stay with us. I'm happy that you are connected with Agnihotri ji's son, and that we know where to catch you now for future events, either through Agnihotri ji or elsewhere. And we need to learn a little more about your communication and the strategies and skills and where we can do better. So with those few words, having thanked everybody, I put the floor back to Pavanji. We are about 8:45 in India, and we are coming fast to our closing time. If Pavanji is not able to join, then Pavanji, with your permission, I'm going to pass.
I'm here, sir. I'm at your service.
Acha ji, namaskar, namaskar.
I'm
Thank you.
always there in your heart, sir.
Acha ji,
Whenever
thank you,
call,
Pavanji. Today,
definitely
again,
find me.
Look at this, the energy that has come out today. You have connected UK with many locations in India and Alkaji in Thailand and Stinaji in Sweden. I think this is quite phenomenal. So thanks to you, Pavanji, and your team. I see no, he's not here. Thakurji is not here with us. So thanks to Thakurji. Pavanji, the floor is back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
It's been a wonderful journey. And please make sure that we bring many of our contributors again in future programs. I leave it with you, Pavanji. Thank you again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Excellent moderation, sir. I am mesmerized by speakers and yourself. Now I will be mesmerizing myself with Agnihotri ji, respected Agnihotri ji, for his valuable valedictory remarks. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Pawan Sharma ji. Thank you. Everybody is snatching my words in the favor of Professor Bandhan. Thank you, sir. This is not fair. This is not fair. I want to declare to this platform that he has got a wonderful treasure of knowledge of any field, not of one field which he belongs, that is genome biology, bioscientist. It is surprising to me. It takes hardly a fraction of a second. He referred the things whichever just strikes in his mind that this may be useful. And I could not send the Dr. D.K. Srivastava's that videos of Mr. Raj Kapoor. I was searching in my archive, and I do hope that I will share it. Anyway, so thank you. Namaskar, Professor Bandhan Sarji, Professor Dr. Pawan Sharma ji. We are here in our 368th webinar in the same continuation and zeal and say enthusiasm. The fact is this, that we are really growing day by day in a banyan tree, and all the speakers who graced the occasion is, I can say in one word, that they are all honest enough to put forward their views, irrespective of any apprehension or prejudiceness. This is what the greatest achievement of our today's webinar. And since other persons took much more time, I would also see the watch, and at least 7-8 minutes is definitely be there for me. I would like to extend my regards to first of all my all revered and senior persons like Professor Manan Tangvaluji from UK, Professor BP Sharma Sahab from Guwahati, Assam, Dr. Roma Jagdishwarji from Hyderabad, Telangana, and Madam Radhika Nagrath from Haridwar, Uttarakhand, our Mr. Nishant Verma from New Delhi, Dr. Pawan Sharma himself, and Dr. Alka Gupta from Thailand, our Professor Ramdas ji, Miss Stina Anderson, our Dr. Sunita Pandey was also there from Bihar, and our those who graced this occasion, especially our Madhu Sharma too. These are all, I acknowledge their presence, and I extend my all regards to for in their favor. Actually, we started our journey today right from the freedom of media and how this freedom could be better utilized by the, say, projection of Ayurvedic outputs. Whatever the Ayurvedic persons doing in India or abroad, if the assistance of media in terms of print media or electronic media be there with us, we will be in better position. So we started our journey in a very say concrete manner, but during this whole discussion, several times we confused, we went away from the main theme, but still there was no criticism to anybody. Is I should say the therapy or even the pathy, everything is okay. But the same problem is this, that the most emphasis was given to the advertisement. If the advertisement will be there instead of quality, it will be flashed and the person will come in contact. How we know Shehnaz, how we know Amazon, how we know Myntra, this is all by the regular advertisement by their companies, irrespective of their goodness or shortcomings. So if at all a small thing is found as a bone powder in Ramdev's Patanjali, the media is always there, the print media is there, the media is there. And we know that we use these things, not only the small bone piece, Kokatan Nitok, and so many things are there. But when Sarabhai was giving oxytetracycline hydrochloride along with the vitamin C and sold it for 20 years or more, and then put under control that vitamins along with antibiotics are not permitted, Sarabhai went to the court, but they have to withdraw the preparation. Now simple oxytetracycline was there, but not the ascorbic acid. So many things are there. Chloromycin for use after effect like deafness. So many things are there. I am not here to criticize anything. But our achievement is this, that if our good things are projected properly, the scenario would have been gone better. I would like to say something especially about the Alka's presentation and contribution. Had I been known to her caliber, or Mr. Nishant Verma would have informed to our platform, our organizers, I would have managed her as a guest speaker too, in a full-fledged manner. She is not taking any medicine for the last 32 years, but she is taking the medicine which is evolved, that is Chirayata. So she is completely equipped with all the, say, principles of Ayurvedic system of medicine to prevent the life and keep ourselves from the way. She is told that right from the very first cry, the role of Ayurvedic system starts. I just make one thing add on, that it starts right from the intrauterine life, not only from after the birth. It is the mother of that progeny who takes the things accordingly, and the influence of that goes to the progeny. Anyway, so we start with our first speaker was Madam Radhika Nagrath. She, along with all the, say, her own thought over the role of media, made very clear. Also, she informed that media will project the things which will be seen to media or sent to media. It means we have to make our things so portable and so adjustable to give her, and then she projected. AIMS, All India Institute of Ayurveda, Chaudhary Prakash Center. Why Jaipur, why Jamnagar, and why IMS BHU is known? Because they have done something in past. Now whatever they are doing, they should also be projected. Only academicians are not in position to put forward everything, that too in a form of booklets, lancet, or antibiotic. The great journals are there which are having some places for this research work, but still media is not much known to that one. So as Professor Ramdas was telling, that everybody should know the deepest knowledge of the Sanskrit language to understand our epics, say Bhagavata and Acharya Samhita. Well, this message is to the scholars, students, and the teaching faculty. It is nowhere concerned with the media. So I was just thinking that his suggestion was good, but how it will be implemented? Our scholars should be so sound that they should feel themselves easy to project the output of their researches to the media in such a way that it becomes a point for popularity. This is one thing which probably having the sense for emphasizing the going through the deepest knowledge from the text. So in this way, our next person was Mr. Anupam Mishra ji. Very honestly, he talked. He very clearly said and suggested one thing, that is small videos of 2 minutes to say 10 minutes value. It should convey the matter. My youngest son, who is there in US, he was also telling, you come with your 2 minutes video on spirituality, on the concept, on any preparation, it will do. Otherwise, we are having a few items which are well popularized, like Chyawanprash. Modern medicine has not got any preparation at part to Chyawanprash, and nobody is still put forward any objection over the Chyawanprash, irrespective of its so long journey. So we are supposed to project other things also in the same manner. As he told that for headache, persons will go to the allopathic. We are here to know that why this headache is there in any patient's body. If it is been treated, if it is because of the blood pressure, if it is because of the flatulence, if it is because of the constipation, if it is because of the lack of sleep, that should be treated. So why should we go for the anasin or paracetamol or any analgesic? Our conceptual part is this, that we treat the cause, the disease itself we treated. So, but this theme should be projected. This theme should be made available to the media, so that the media will be in position to say that Ayurveda on its principal side is very sound. It need not be researched to at evidence basis. It has been seen by the divine sight. It is 2000% perfect. It depends that how much pure it is. The preparations are purest form, it will do work. The person who is prescribing is, if it is so this section should be projected in a form of media. Popularity point of view, if it is done by the advertisement through, the efficacy or quality may be the secondary thing. So that should not be neglected. It should be always there. Now our third person with our lovely say presentation with Mr. Nishant Verma. Actually, it was eye-opening for me that he has developed to that extent that wow, in what way he projected and he made a round throughout the world that what is needed, what is Google, what is the acceptance, in what way the thing can be projected. He is pro-Ayurveda, he is pro-Modi, and he is pro-India. He is Indian, but he shown a way, a pathway, that in what way we should proceed. We academicians will do our things. the manufacturers will do their work, the clinicians will do their work, and ultimately in a completed or in a holistic form, it will go beyond our country, and the media will be the first thing who will appreciate that. You please give to me, as Madam Radhika did it in the case of Divya Kajaria's approach and wonderful thing with the nurse therapy to the liver disorder. I communicated her. She projected like things. She gave full place to her paper, and the things are going on. I quoted that during the COVID issue also, AIMS and Chaudhary Om Prakash and that other centers like Jamnagar, they did a lot. So media has got a vital role for the things our Ayurvedic persons are doing. Government has got its limitations, resources. Every person cannot be appreciated by government. Every person cannot approach to government. It depends that how he is near to media. When I do something, Dr. Dhananjay do something, media comes forward. It is always there. Amar Ujala, Hindustan, Dainik Jagran, Punjab Keshari, Navjeevan, Rashtriya Sahara. Dr. Chaudhary is doing a lot. Dr. Chaudhary has been given twice President Award, three, 4 times Chief Minister Award in our Uttarakhand. So media is playing a wonderful role. We should be honest enough to inform good things to media. Media should also come with the good mind to us, and we will be having our circle completed. So today's webinar was very vital. I coming to end with all these things. Nishant Verma did very well. Madam, being a senior person, did a lot. And our TV, India TV person, Mr. Anupam Mishra also. But the after discussion with the involvement of Professor Ramdas, Dr. Alka Gupta, and for Alka Gupta, I'll like to inform her that we with our delegation with All India PG Association, we visited Thailand, Pattaya and Bangkok way back in 2015, and we had a meeting there. We had an international conference. So whenever we will be there, Dr. Dhananjay is very anxious to be there, and we will make how to know that how much you are doing there and how much we will be useful from our side to make all efforts possible to carry the theme of Ayurveda sky high. So all
sure, sir. It will be pleasure to have you all whenever anything goes on.
Yes, sure. You made us very anxious. We had been there, and we had 2 medical camps also there, and our Srivastava was also there from Lucknow. He did a lot. So we are communicating in the way. If not me, our students, our great scholars now, they have placed a wonderful place. So our greetings to all the speakers for today's contribution. They made our webinar a great success, and all the participants.
One thing, sir, I'm sorry to interrupt you. As you mentioned that this is the beauty of Ayurveda, that it works on symptom, like system, not symptom. It's system, and it works on root cause. Once root cause is detected, diagnosed, it is very easy to cure the things. Recently, one of my patients, she was suffering from migraine since 18 years, and she has been cured only in 21 days. And since 5 years, she is not having any symptom of migraine. She is now perfectly fine, and only with one medicine, one remedy of Ayurveda.
Dr. Alka, listen to me. In our first chapter in Charak Sankita, it is very clear. Hetulinga aushad jnanam swastha turparayanam. Hetulinga aushad jnanam, the etiology, the symptomatology, and the pharmacopoeia. Swastha turparayanam. Tisuktam sashwatam purnyam buvde yah pitamaha. It is our Lord Verma ji who projected this thing. So to know the deepest form of the hetu and the symptomatology, then even swastha aturprayana, he is not talking only about the diseased person. For healthy person, to maintain the health, what is the hetu? We want to live. What is the symptom? We have got movement, we have got hunger, we have got pressure of defecation, we have got sleep. So what should we need? We need wheat. We need proper food. Swastha aturparayanam. It should be very clearly. For healthy persons, hetulinga aushad gyan is also important. So it is important for the diseased persons. Ayurveda is very clear on this principal theme.
And one more thing, this is only in Ayurveda, Rogi Bal and Rog Bal. In allopathy,
Exactly.
like 3000 mg, 2000 mg is right for all. But Ayurveda, see the Rogi Bal and Rog Bal. Accordingly,
And
medication.
moreover, not only Rogi Rog, Purusham Vikshya. We are personalized
I would
with
like
the
to,
knowledge.
Madam Malkaji, these are valedictory remarks from Professor Sir. So we would like to conclude the discussion.
So with all greatness of your presence, our speakers made our webinars, today's webinar, a very successful webinar. Our thanks to all our seniors, our organizers, our discussion persons. They made their whole of the use of their mental status and mental exercise, and we came to this end. So thank you very much. Thanks. Over to Pawan Sharma ji. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Just I was requesting Alkaji to conclude your valedictory remarks because discussion is over now. So we will be welcoming Alkaji in our next all webinars from 6 to 8 p.m. IST. I am very much impressed by his communication skills as well as knowledge and expertise. Really.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
We are grateful. Dr. Preena Jain, thank you for joining today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We
Sir.
will be welcome you again on tomorrow's webinar. Tomorrow is asthma care. Dr. Preena Jain from Chennai and Dr. K. Nishant Pai from Udupi from Ayurveda. So homeopathy and Ayurveda, both, what will be the care and cure? I know cure is not possible, but in early stages, suppose breathing difficulties are there, that is not asthma. But what experts say, we will be welcoming. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Agnihotri ji. Thank you very much, sir. Manan sir. Thank you, Vishnu Prasad Sharma ji. Thank you all, D.K. Srivastav ji, Nishant ji. Means I am unable to express my gratitude to you all, by which this journey has been reached to 367. Thank you very much.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thank you and good night to all.
Good night.
Okay, good night. Namaskar.
Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar.
Namaste, namaste.
Thank you. Namaskar ji.
Namaskar.